Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to tonight's show. I was just telling my guest I'm a little under the weather, ever so slightly. Probably didn't help that I've been doing so much this week, but it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do, what you got to do, right? That's how it works. Tonight's guest has been one in the making since over the summer. That's what happens. You talk to people. I'm always, in contact with, potential guests. I'm like, hey, let's do it this. We try to figure it out. Eventually, everything lines up and you do the show. But tonight's guest is really interesting. He does really interesting work. He's a Renaissance man. He's a musician. He's a special effects makeup artist. And he also is an avid gamer. Like he does like tabletop games too. He's into all sorts of cool stuff. And he's out on the he's on the other side of the coast. So he's joining us all the way from California. And I forgot to tell him, I'm gonna just intro this right now, that we have we're gonna be asking him the thesis question, which is if pizza is punk, why is it punk or why is it not punk? It's a subjective question and requires a subjective answer. There's no wrong or right way to answer the questions. Just I want to hear everybody's answer. So that's always fun. So we're gonna do that. A quick housekeeping item. This Saturday we have a mega show coming up. The last one was 4 hours long. It was a very, very long show. And what's going on, Larry? How are you? It was a very long show. It is our Grimm Tales Part 3. Jonathan Grimm, a.k.a. Jim the Tank Dorsey, he worked with the 95 Misfits from 1994 all the way to 2008. And he saw it all. And it's a part of the history. It's part of the history of this band that we don't really talk about too much on the show. So why not bring on a guy who was there for just about all of it and hear literally his firsthand account, that sort of thing. And so he'll be joining me for that installment. I really shouldn't have done so many shows this week because I got to save my voice. Excuse me. So keep your eyes peeled for that. That'll be fun. Also, Erevon Part 4 is available for YouTube members if you have a membership or if you have the Patreon. You can watch Part 4 of the hours-long Erevon interview. Parts 2 and 3 only available to Patreon members and YouTube members. Parts 1 is out right now, and Part 4 will be out on YouTube proper at the end of the month. But if you want to see all of it right now, you could binge almost 3 hours of Erevon talking about Misfits, Samhain, and Danzig. Just head on over to the Patreon or become a YouTube member. Like our good friend up here just joined, Muddy Glow, just joined and became a YouTube member. Thank you, Muddy Glow, for the support. All right, no more preamble. Let us bring out our guest. Andy, I'll tell you how I met Andy. I'll bring him out and we'll say hello. Actually, it's not Andy. It's Satan. All hail Satan himself. BLZ Bub. Right. BLZ Bub. Welcome to the show, Andy. How are you tonight?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. I'm a little haggard. I do what I do. I do what I do, and that's all that I do.
You do a lot of talking, man, more than anybody I know.
I really do. I really do. But I love it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't love it.
And a Renaissance man. You make me sound so prestigious, man.
You really are, though. You really are. You do so much cool stuff, man. I think it's awesome. I love that you have all these different hobbies. You play you got your tabletop games.
Yeah.
What kind of tabletop games you playing?
I play a lot of war games, area control games.
Okay.
I play a lot of RPGs like D&D, Vampire the Masquerade.
And this isn't
Right
on
now,
a computer. This is like on the
it's
table.
old school. You move like little guys and everything, and you talk in stupid little voices, like stuff you'd get beat up for in high school and middle school.
Right.
Not actually, those people that were getting beat up back then, they're now like writing fucking major movies and TV shows.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Things.
They use that imagination to come up with whatever and whatever. Thank you, James. Shout out to James Gruesome in the comments. Thank you for your support. Appreciate you, sir. James will be on a future episode. We're going to do a top 5 with James in the near future. So thank you, James. And Christopher says, watching from Ghana, West Africa. That's awesome.
Wow.
Very cool. That's far off, a far off land. That's sweet. We got an international audience. Yeah. So these games, they take a long ass time to play though, right?
It varies. It's like music. Some songs are 45 seconds. Some songs are a half hour. You know, it just depends. But yeah, I would say the average, if I had to average it out, was like 2 hours. But if we're doing go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
If we're doing like a D&D campaign, a nightly game of that would be anywhere between 4 to 8 hours.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So that's like that's like, you know, that in advance, and you're like, all right, like block out the schedule. We're sitting down. We got some drinks. We got some snacks. We're battening down the hatches and going at it.
Absolutely. Yeah. We always set up like 2 tables, one for the gaming, one for all the snacks and all the little miniatures that we're gonna put on the field. And we have our donuts. We got our fucking shots. We got our beer. Can I say fuck? Is fuck okay?
Yeah. You can fucking say whatever the fuck you want.
I can say okay. Great.
You know, I will say this though. I don't generally tell my guests what they can and cannot say, but since we're talking about it right now, if there are certain words that YouTube does, like cursing is not good, but like whatever, we do it. I try my best not to curse, but I curse, and I don't try and censor my guests from not cursing. However, I don't really try to censor my guests at all. However, there are certain buzzwords that, if like a great example, instead of, you could imagine what this word is a substitution for, unaliving yourself. You can't say the S word on YouTube. It will bury your video. So it's like,
okay,
it's interesting how that works. But the fuck is fine. I wouldn't worry about it. So do your thing. Yeah.
Okay, cool. But no, what's cool about role playing is I play with my kids. I got a 10-year-old and a 15-year-old. And then I play with another friend who's my age, 43, and my wife, and another friend is 32. At the table, we're all the same. Age does not matter. It's an equal playing field. We make it through the adventure. Everyone's like victorious and excited and happy. We all share the emotions together as a group, and it's such an exhilarating night whenever we play. It's fantastic.
So
if you've never played, I recommend it.
So I have not. So there is treachery though. Like, you could be betrayed by your son or daughter or your wife in some way.
Not me. The way it works, I'm the dungeon master. I say that with like drool coming out of my fucking mouth. Right.
Yes.
With my lisp, but I'm the dungeon master. So most people at this point know what a dungeon master is, but if they don't, I'll explain it. A dungeon master controls the environment and all the different players, called NPCs, non-player characters, that my players in the game will interact with. So I am the world. It's like, imagine
you're the story. You're the narrator. You're the storyteller.
Yeah, correct. So they're never going to betray me. If anything, I'm going to create characters that will betray them.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So, and then that also takes, like, you got to sit and write stuff out. I mean, there's like, you got to plot out your what you want to do and everything. And then you got to feel it out. It's it's almost like a performance. It's like written performance, like spoken word, poetry, art in a weird kind of way. A lot of
improv, and you'll have like your night planned out for you. You have it all written out, but you can never predict what the players are going to do. So you have
you have to stay on your toes.
You do, yeah, and you don't want to railroad your players to do something. You want to give them freedom.
Sure.
But sometimes they do some wacky shit, and you're just like, God, like, what am I gonna do? You know, but it makes for some really cool, interesting games for sure. Some interesting sessions.
So I want to tell everybody who watches this in the future, is watching now, how I met Andy.
It's a good one.
It's a good one. It's a really good one, actually. You know, and it's part of a philosophy that I, in turn, I have to shout out this guy from the Nightmares Film Festival, Jason Tustavin, you know, did instill into me this attitude of just like, hey, you know, just go to fests and get out there, get involved and whatnot. I did the same thing at Genre Blast as well. When the Sleepy Hollow International Film Festival was setting up, you know, I live right next to the Sleepy Hollow, like Sleepy Hollow from The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which is like the coolest town ever. And Andy can attest. Andy's been there. He's sort of seen some of the vibe out there. They were setting up in the Terrytown, what is it called? God damn it, the Terrytown Playhouse, whatever the hell it is. It's an old timey sort of theater, and a bunch of guys from LA, really, really great guys. Michael McCartney and Matt. What the hell is his last name? Matt with an last name with an L. Oh my God, this is gonna bother me. Matt LeVay? No, not Matt LeVay. Whatever. In any case, he has La LA Records. I think he has like a soundtrack business and whatnot. Great people. And they put together the Sleepy Hollow International Film Festival, and they had some really cool programming. One of the things that they had worked out was something that's super duper rare. It is it's something that was written and directed by the team behind Reanimator. It was Stuart Gordon and Dennis Paoli. Is that how you say his last name?
Dennis Paoli. That's right.
Dennis Paoli. Okay, good.
You got it.
It was those two. I'm sure there was a bunch more on the team, and you know, not to forget Jeffrey Combs himself, who brings Edgar Allan Poe to life. And you know, Stuart has tragically passed, but before he died, he was trying to get it made as a movie. They were trying to get it off the ground, trying to get it made as a movie. Jeffrey Combs had played Edgar Allan Poe in Stuart Gordon Masters of Horror episode as well, which was separate, which was a separate sort of situation thing. But eventually it all synthesized into Nevermore, which is a one-man show about Edgar Allan Poe, right? And they brought that to the Sleepy Hollow International Film Festival, and Andy happens to be Jeff. What exactly? I don't want to misspeak here. What exactly is your affiliation in this realm with Jeffrey Combs and that scenario?
Me and my wife have been doing his makeup for Nevermore since 2009. It's been a long time.
Yeah, so you've been involved with it for like I mean, I think it started
day
one.
Then, right?
Day one. Oh,
day one.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Andy has actually been, you know, he's a part of that team that helped Jeffrey Combs bring Edgar Allan Poe to life. And in the sense that in order to partially bring him back from the dead, and I'm talking very loosely like this because I will describe what my experience was watching this.
He's Poe.
He's got a, yeah. Oh, I know he's Poe. I know he's Poe. I know he's Poe.
That's him.
Well, what is amazing though is like, you know, they really make him up. They really make him up. He has to have like a prosthetic nose, and he's got his mustache and all his. Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. So I was just volunteering because there was this attitude of like, hey, you know, if you think something's really cool, like try and get involved in some way, shape, or form. I'm a filmmaker, you know, kind of, you know, sort of dabbling around on the fest circuit here and there. And I was like, you know, this is local and I want to be involved in some way, shape, or form. So I'm gonna hit these guys up. So I emailed the team, Sleepy Hollow International Film Festival. They gave me a badge, a volunteer badge. I didn't really do much. I just sort of mucked around. Whatever they needed, I was there. You know, if they wanted me to stand outside and pass out programs or whatnot, street traffic. It was happening in October in Sleepy Hollow, which is like, I mean, there's so much tourism around It's just like Salem. It's like Salem. So you get a lot of tourists. And that's where I bumped into Andy. I don't know. He was outside or something. We just started talking. I mean, that's you. You start talking to people, and that's
I
yeah.
think
What
I
do you
saw
do? You
you.
Remember?
I think I saw you sitting down in the theater. I may have
Oh,
saw you in
possibly.
your jacket, and I think it had maybe a Misfits patch or something. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but I think I saw something with music, and we started talking.
It was my
Misfits.
shirt. You were probably. I was wearing a shirt of some kind. I don't know what it was, but I was probably wearing it on my shirt. And we started talking about the Misfits initially. And that's that's the beautiful thing about going to these fests. It's like, you know, a lot of people go to fests because they want to submit their films and they want those films to like do really well. And that's all good. You have to really decide, like, what kind of experience do I want to get out of going to a fest? And one of the experiences, you get to meet people. You can meet people, and you know, something might come of a meeting, or nothing might come of a meeting, but you still get to like meet people and have like good times and whatnot. And so, yeah, Andy and I just started really just shooting the shit. We were talking about, you know, Misfits, and this is before I started doing all this stuff online. But I was just like, oh yeah, man, Misfits, blah 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 blah. And we started, you know, to realize that there were some common threads. And then he was like, oh yeah, I'm the makeup artist, Jeffrey Combs. I was like, holy fucking shit, dude. Jeffrey fucking Combs, man. Because, like, you know, like for me, and eventually Andy introduced me to Jeffrey Combs. I got to meet him very briefly, just like a very quick hello. And he took my picture with him. And I'll tell you something. I've met all sorts of famous people, and I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form like a humble brag or anything. I'm just saying I've met like people that are way more famous than Jeffrey Combs, and I just was not phased. It just was whatever. Meeting Jeffrey Combs, I was so nervous and tongue tied. I was breathless. I literally could not, because this guy, I think he's one of the greatest fucking living actors walking the planet.
Yeah, he's incredible.
I'm like, you know what it was? I felt so intimidated, and he didn't put off any sort of vibe of being intimidating at all. He's like the nicest, most like disarming type of guy. He sees that I'm tongue tied. He's like, oh, nice jacket you got there. And I'm like, thanks.
I remember that very clearly. Yeah. You know, it's like when I first met Jeff, he was just sitting there in the makeup chair, and how I got the gig was a friend of mine named Greg McDougall. He initially had the gig, and they did a test makeup. I wasn't there for the test makeup, but then he decided he didn't want to do it for whatever reason. I don't remember why. So he called my wife, who he's friends with, and at that time my wife was 20, right? We weren't even married yet. And so she was like, yeah, Andy, Greg just called me, wanted to know if I wanted this job, and it's working with a Stuart Gordon's for. I'm like, what? Okay, go on. Yeah, it's with Stuart Gordon for, you know, and there's an actor named Jeffrey Combs. I lost my shit. Like, it's crazy. And so, like, in my head, he's the dude from Frighteners, what's his name, Dauber or something like that.
He's Agent Dammers.
So he's Dammers, and he's Herbert West. I was expecting some kooky guy, but he's an actor. So when I meet him, he's like, "Hey, how's it going, Andy?" I'm like, "Oh, he's just a normal dude. He's a family man. You know, he's a family man. Really, really normal, highly intelligent, super smart. You know, he's very witty. But he was just a really nice guy. He's a really nice guy. We spent a lot of time traveling, gotten to know each other pretty well. He's like an uncle to me now at this point. He's cool. I saw him at Monster Palooza like 2 weeks ago, and he's talking to people. Then as soon as he sees me, he's like, Andy, he gives me a big hug. He like forgets about all the people he's talking to. He makes you feel special. He's cool. He's a great guy.
He really is something else.
Yeah, and he's something else.
Just being in his presence, it was amazing. It was really amazing. And you know what it is? It's just that, like, I revel in that dude's genius. I just think his genius in bringing that it's not just the Herbert West performance. He's been in a million movies. I mean, you literally, there's anything that Jeffrey Combs is in, you're gonna have fun watching. Like, I'll watch a movie just because Jeffrey Combs is in it. But there's something.
Don't bring up
don't bring up what?
fear.com. Fear.com or Faust.
Okay, first of all, it's funny. I just rewatched Faust about a year ago because I did an interview with Brian Usna, and I wanted to be well versed. I watched Initiation, Silent Deadly Night Part 4, which I had never seen before, which was directed by Usna as well. And I watched Faust, which I hadn't seen since like 1999.
2000, yeah.
Yeah, and I forgot. I will say this about those two performances in particular, Fear.com and Faust. Combs is slightly miscast in those roles. He's not.
He is, absolutely.
It's not really like I still, again, I will endlessly, and I just want to see Combs, just like I like Cage. I'll just watch Combs for the sake of watching Combs. It's like watching an athlete just fucking perform. However, those roles, just was not the right. It didn't really connect. It wasn't.
He never deserves a cameo. He should always have a big major role in everything because he's. I
agree.
Good.
Or
they just want to like put his name on the banner. Starring Jeffrey Combs, and brings people in, pay him for a day, and then.
I will say this. His role in the Frighteners. He doesn't have a big major part. He's like a secondary antagonist, but he's got an arc. He steals every scene that he is in. He's magnetic. He's magnetic. You can't take your eyes off him in that role.
Yeah.
He's so it's one of my favorite performances. We've talked. We have seriously gushed about it on this channel so often that Agent Dammers in and he had he had spacers. He took spacers and put them behind his ears to make his ears stick out. Like he really brought so much, and Peter Jackson just allowed him to run wild with the character. And Combs knew what he was doing, man. He really did.
Yeah, they should have put him in Lord of the Rings. I don't know why they didn't.
Why not, man? Like he could have been an elf. He could have done, you know what he could have done? He could have done, Brad Dourif is great in his role, but I could have seen Combs in that role as well.
Easily, great. Oh my God. Easily.
He would have been so perfect for that role. Or, as some kind of orc, because what he likes to get into the makeup for like Star Trek and shit. So why not make him an orc or something? But in any case, he was there at the Sleepy Hollow International Film Festival to do a performance of Nevermore, and I'm not sure about this. I think this was the last time he's done it. He hasn't done one since. They're sporadic now, right? Like it's every once in a while he'll do it.
He's done one since then, and that was in actually when his last show he did was on a Star Trek cruise.
Really?
Back in 2000, actually, when we were on the cruise ship.
Yeah.
LA went into the state of emergency for COVID.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it was like we were looking at our phones, going, "Fuck, LA's in state of emergency. Shit, are we stuck here?" And as we were docking. They let us off and we were fine, but the ship after us, they quarantined him for 2 weeks.
So he was one of the people that was stuck on that ship because that was in the news. Sherm, love you as well, man. Sherm Smoke, shout out to Sherm Smoke in the chat. So he was what? Because I remember hearing about that
he wasn't quarantined,
not Combs, but that people were
the cruise ship. Yeah,
that the cruise ships were like, you could not come to the mainland or whatever.
That was a ship after us, so we were that close to getting quarantined. Yeah,
that is so insane.
Yeah.
So one of the things that Andy, I guess, does from time to time, I guess the situation always varies, but if you are lucky enough, if you are in Andy's proximity, it is very possible that you can wind up with the nose itself. And I was very lucky to be the recipient of Jeffrey Combs's nose as Edgar Allan Poe, and it's right here.
There it is.
This is it.
The tissue.
I still in the tissue. I have never. It's funny. I was terrified. I wasn't sure what would happen to it if I didn't know if I had to preserve it in a certain way, or I just sort of held on to it, and it's held up okay. I think eventually it'll probably crumple, but
it's silicone, so it's gonna last forever.
Really?
Well, I mean, it's going to last. it's gonna last, 50 years. It's not like foam latex where it goes into the sun, it gets UV rays on it and starts to deteriorate. It's silicone. Yeah.
Maybe what I'll do is I'll have it encased in whatever lucite, whatever that stuff is, just so I could, I cherish this thing. This is Jeffrey Combs's nose when he becomes
Poe nose. Yeah, the Poe nose.
Poe nose. It becomes Edgar Allan Poe. Now, one thing that's incredible about this performance. So, what is Nevermore? Nevermore is basically, it's Poe gets on stage.
It's a one-man show.
Yeah,
hour and a half long.
Right.
He essentially, it's like he's doing a reading for the audience. He's just talking about his life, but he progressively gets drunk throughout the performance.
Right.
And it's just Poe going off, warts and all, just riffing, just talking about his critics, and he's criticizing his critics, and it's just a roller coaster of emotions, and there was one performance back in it was like 2014.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember where it was, to be honest. Maybe Arkansas. I could be wrong. But his sister just died.
Oh.
His sister just died. And
oh my God.
He found out like hours before the show. So he channeled all that energy into that performance for an hour and a half.
Wow.
And the audience was in tears. Oh my God. He moved everybody. Like everyone was just like focused on him. Like he had the audience. And then I remember after the show, like my part of my job is not only doing his makeup, but to like kind of wrangle him a little bit. Like,
sure,
I'll go buy him like sushi or whatever and bring it back to him to eat, or Starbucks. And then as soon as the show's done, his throat's always hoarse. So I always bring like ice cold water. So as soon as the show was done, I ran downstairs to the dressing room, and he was like hunched over the makeup station, just bawling his eyes out, just crying like crazy. I felt so bad, but it was,
oh my God.
But the audience got a show. Holy shit, they got a show. That was one for the books.
The other thing, what's really puts it up. So first of all, does he change he tells one Poe story? Does he change that story from show to show, or is it always he always does the Telltale Heart?
It does Telltale Heart. He does, Annabelle Lee.
Right.
The Raven. He does a few others. Like there was some I believe poems from like letters that he wrote. He does some of those that were like unfinished, that were like written to women. So like they dug pretty deep for that performance. So like they actually took like things he said in letters, like, right. You have to be a real extreme Poe fan to know that. So
well, all I remember was just how he, all he's doing is reciting a story. It's one guy on the stage and he's reciting the Telltale Heart, and the way he works himself into a frenzy. And then here's the other thing that's so brilliant about how everything works. He lights a candle. Mm. He has these prompts. Mm. And how do I know this? I don't actually know this. This is just what I observed from the audience. He has these prompts. The first prompt is he has a candle. Mm. And when the candle burns down a certain way, it tells him where he needs to be with the performance in some way, shape, or form. It's a brilliant cue. And then the other thing is he drinks the tea. His, right.
The whiskey.
The whiskey.
Rye whiskey. Yeah,
right.
Whiskey.
And on some level, it must allow him in his performance. He goes, okay, I drank a little bit more. I drank a little bit more. Like something must it must help him get into that space as he's doing it. And when he gets down to the bottom, he knows it's like he can almost monitor, his intensity by how much he's drank. And it's just, I that's what I surmised when I was watching from the audience. And there was one part where he fell off the stage. I think he did it on purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he did it on purpose, but it's just so, oh my God, I can't gush enough. And basically to sum it all up, what it really is, it's not a play and it's not a performance. What it actually is, and I really believe this in my heart of hearts, it's a seance. He's conducting a seance, and he really does channel the spirit of Edgar Allan Poe. So if you are fortunate enough to catch Nevermore, if it's happening anywhere near you, this is a treat. This is something that has, I guess not, but you know, if it ever comes up that it is, do not hesitate in the least to go and check it out, because it will blow you away.
Because I saw him when I saw him 2 weeks ago. He told me, Andy, I think Nevermore has come to an end. You know, I'm 65, 66 now, and I don't have the energy, and it's like climbing Mount Everest every time I have to do the show, because he's got to go for walks and jogs. He's got to get his conditioning up, and then he has to like recite the whole thing like constantly, like for weeks on end to like prep, because it's not something he just remembers off the cuff, you know. So,
you know, of all the things that he's done in his career, I feel like from like an acting standpoint, I feel like that's like the zenith. You know, like on all levels, like just the performance and prepping and everything that you're describing right now, for him on some level, it must be so fulfilling as an actor to do that show. I can't even imagine.
It's pretty crazy, because there was a lot of really well-known actors, you know, like horror actors, and like who was Robert Picardo? You know who that is?
Sounds familiar. Name sounds familiar.
He was like the gym teacher in Wonder Years, and he's in Star Trek.
Okay,
he's in a lot of things.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of things.
Yeah. I think I know your face. Yeah.
He was on the cruise, the Star Trek cruise, and afterwards, after the show was done, like him and a bunch of the other Star Trek actors, they came backstage and they were just like, oh, and these are like they're all Shakespearean trained actors, you know, they're like, they're top notch, and so they're just like, shit, like Jeff just like blew our minds. So like actors all bow to him after that show. They're just like, fuck, that's it.
They've got to shoot the movie, man. They've got to, like, if he's done, it has to be archived. It has to be like preserved in some way, shape, or form. It like they can't just let it. Yeah,
we actually did shoot something. Like,
oh yes, so something's been shot officially.
It has, but there was some weird technical issues with it. I mean, it exists. It exists.
That's good.
It's somewhere. It's on a hard drive somewhere, an external hard drive sitting somewhere. I don't know where, but it's somewhere. I know it exists. We shot it. I remember we did like makeup tests for it. We actually had the lights for it, but for whatever reason, it was really weird. Like when they would change the lights, it was too drastic, and his nose would look like a different color from his skin tone.
Oh no!
So,
but at least
it got like
it's preserved. It's documented.
It's documented. I think they've even released like little snips of it there, because they were trying to do like a Kickstarter for it back in like 2011 or 12. And
I remember that. I remember that. But what happened was, so wait a minute. So hold on a second. If you were there almost from the beginning, that means that you also worked with and knew Stuart Gordon on some level, right?
Oh yeah, totally, yeah.
Oh my God, what the fuck was that like, dude?
You know, I was, of course, like starstruck when I met him, but for whatever reason, him and I could never connect. I don't know if I was like, he just saw me as like a little young punk kid, but we just never connected on any level. It was hard, you know, but like I was always in awe of him. I respected him, and he was just always kind of like, I don't know if he wrote me off or something or what the deal was, but we just never hit it off very well. I don't know.
And so, wow, that's so incredible. What an incredible experience. I mean, you really are.
My wife hit it off with him really well. They would travel together.
Really?
My wife used to travel with Jeff before I did. Then it got to a point where he was like, well, your wife's taking care of the kids now, so I want you to come with me. So I'm like, okay. So I took over for a little bit, but she was doing all the heavy lifting for quite a while.
Wow.
But she went on many airplane flights with Stuart and sat next to him, and she was reading like books about serial killers, and you know, Stuart like tried to pick her brain, and was like, that could be a cool script. Like, you know, his brain was always being creative, you know. But I think the only time me and Stuart really connected was talking about like miniatures. He liked to paint miniatures.
Oh, did he really? That's so cool.
He did. He did. So we talked about
Oh.
board games a little bit, and we had a good conversation. But most of the time, he was just too busy or too his brain was elsewhere, you know. So, but what was really cool though is after the show, he would always come back and give Jeff critiques of the show, of like how we
Really?
performed. Yeah, and tell him what to do, what not to do next time, and Jeff was always like, yeah, you know, you're right. You're right. He'd always listen to Stuart and say, yeah,
What a
okay.
partnership, man. All that time, all those years.
It was cool.
It's freaking crazy, dude.
There was another time Bernie Wrightson came backstage, and I was like, fuck, this is the man right here.
That is the man right there. Yeah, I mean, I have a book of his stuff right over there. Oh my God, one of my favorites.
And they were actually talking about doing a Nevermore comic, a graphic novel with him, you know, doing all the art for it. But he died like I think 2 years later, and it never happened. So, but I got to hear the conversation. It was cool.
That was the thing about Stuart too, is that like it's like he tried to do the Nevermore thing. I feel like that was around 2014, 2015, maybe something like that. And
man, yeah.
And then that didn't pan out. I think I kicked in for that, actually. I think I might have donated to that campaign. And he was just like, fuck it, I'm done. I'm like I'm not trying to go out there and, you know, get stuff made anymore. And that's such a shame on some level.
Well,
it's a
shame. He's Stuart was kind of stubborn and wanted things done a certain way. And if you could have done his way, he just would rather not.
He was uncompromising. You know? He was uncompromising. His last movie, I think, was Edmund in 2005. Actually, I'm not sure if he did anything after that.
Did he do when was King of the Ants?
King of the Ants, which also sitting right over there, was right around that time. I think King of the Ants is 2003 or 2002.
Oh, okay.
And and then he did Edmund. And that was
which is the one with the girl that like crashes or like she hits
the
guy.
Sorry, that's his last movie. My mistake. That's from 2007 with Mina Servini, and that's Stuck. It's based on a true story. That was his last movie.
Right, Stuck.
What a brilliant guy. Like just all the stuff, all that crazy stuff he would make. And you know, Castle Freak. Castle Freak was like a modern Universal horror film, man. You know, it was like that. You know, when I think of like what would be Universal horror in the 90s, Castle Freak, man.
That was it, yeah. But more adult.
But more adult.
Missing a dick. Yeah.
Missing a dick. But overall, what an incredible experience, and it was just an amazing. Yeah. I do hope that in some way, shape, or form, somebody comes along and maybe Shudder or something, and they go, "Hey, let's do Nevermore, make it happen, and get something going, so that way it's properly archived." If because there's a thing, you know, part of it was, hey, we're not going to film this because it's a performance, and you have to come and see the performance, or you don't see the thing. But if he's done, if he's hanging up the pantaloons and the nose, then you know, why not? You know, hopefully, who knows?
The nose and the outfit, they were actually from the Black Cat episode. The same mold to make the nose was from Black Cat. Yeah,
very cool.
KNB was cool enough to do. I think they made the first, I think like 15 noses. That was the first run. It was like 15 shows originally.
Wow.
Because me and my wife, we didn't have a life on weekends for a good 2 or 3 years. It was just constant Nevermore every weekend, 2 or 3 shows. It was just non-stop, never ending. I mean, I loved it. Like, part of me loved it, but I still wanted a life. But it was just like, this is magical. I know this is gonna be a time in my life I'm gonna reflect upon and go like, fuck, I was part of that. You know,
you were part of that, dude.
I was part of that, but it was still hard work. You know, it was still hard work.
Sure.
But KNB, they made the first like 15 noses, I believe. And then eventually they decided to extend the show, and they didn't want to make any more noses because it's a lot of work. So they eventually were able to give Stuart the nose, and then Stu hired me to start making the noses. So from after the first 15 shows, I started making all the prosthetics. So that was pretty cool too.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so how did you, now let's sort of dip back a little bit. How did you get into special effects makeup artistry? Because I mean, you really are something else with like that. All the stuff you sculpt and the stuff you create and this, that, and the other. So tell me about that, how that began for you. How did you get started and how did it become a professional thing?
Well, you're nice. Thank you. I appreciate the kind of words. Thank you. I guess, like any other horror fan, you get into movies and you live and breathe it and just watch things nonstop. And I bought like Tom Savini's Grand Illusions and other makeup books. And it was just like, this in high school, I remember all my friends, like I would bring like masks to school and I'd try to wear them in like history class, like a Jason mask, and show my horror films. And my teacher get pissed at me. And all my friends were like, yeah, one day you're going to be a director or a writer or a producer or something. I'm like, that doesn't sound like me. But eventually I moved to LA, like in 2000. And I was raised a Jehovah's Witness, right? So I was I was trying to get away from all this stuff. So
gotcha.
I'd met some girl online on AOL back in the day. AOL, yeah. And so I moved down here. That was my excuse to get out of San Jose, moved to LA. And I was here for about maybe 4 years, just working dead-end jobs. I was at like Starbucks for a few years. Then I was working at a pet store. Then I was selling extended car warranties for a bit. It was just really weird jobs. And lots of video stores. I did like 2 video stores, so that was pretty fun. And then eventually I'm like, what am I doing with my life? This isn't what I want to do. I want to like do something that's me. I don't want to work a 9 to 5. So I went to makeup school. And then from makeup school, graduated, you just meet people here and there, and it's really all word of mouth, and if people like you. Like, I'm not the most talented guy. There's like some insanely, like, the best of the best are in Hollywood. I mean, they're working on movies in the effects shops. I could do the work pretty good. I'm like competent. But I'm likable. So if you're likable, you can get work.
Sure. You want to be able to vibe. You want to be able to vibe with someone who, like, you got to be around all the time. You want to be able to vibe with someone,
because you're going to be working under very stressful conditions with super tight timelines, and depending on how you handle the stress will, determine if you get a job next time,
Yeah.
So, and I think I handle stress pretty, we all commiserate together, we all like bitch and moan, but we do it together as a unit, but if you take it out on people, well, yeah, the industry is very, it self-filters itself, it's self-filtering. So if you're like, if you're a dickhead, then yeah, eventually you get blacklisted from all these different shops. They won't hire you anymore, and then you're out of a job, you're out of a career. That's it. So, but yeah, I started doing this in like 2004 or 5. I don't remember the exact. I think it's maybe 4 or 5. So it's been almost 20 years now. It's crazy.
Wow,
time flies. Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. So.
What do me one favor, because it's just bothering me. You got too much headroom. Could you just tilt your camera down a little? Yeah, that was just I couldn't concentrate because I was like, there you go.
Okay,
a little bit better. That's a better. Yeah. Oh, perfect. Yes. Okay. Good. What is the okay? So what are the things that you really love, and what are the things that just like are like, oh my God, I got to do that. Fuck, I hate doing this. Like, what is, like, in terms of like the tasks, the workflow of special effects makeup? Like, do you love the sculpting? Like, what part of the process? In the same way that as a filmmaker, some filmmakers like things in different ways. Some like to do the editing the most. Some like to do the writing the most. Some like production the most. So what part of the process do you love the most, and what part of the process is maybe the one that maybe it causes you the most headaches, but you're like, it's all good.
It really depends on the job, but there's a lot, like, all the shops are very compartmentalized. So when you go to most shops, you're going to do one thing, and you're going to be stuck doing that for the whole duration of the show.
Gotcha.
some of the smaller shops, like I'm at a shop that's like a medium level size shop right now. I'm doing everything. Like I'm running around doing like I'm molding one day, and then like this past week I was distressing outfits to make them look old, and like
Sure.
I had to do a Captain America outfit for Marvel Zombies. So I had to take a legit Captain America outfit and destroy it with sandpaper and spray paint dirt, not spray paint, but airbrush dirt all over it, and make it look, burnt, like it was hit by a bunch of lasers. And
Dude, you're working on
missiles.
the fucking Marvel Zombies.
It's something. I don't know if it's Marvel Zombies or not, I'm not exactly sure what it was for, but also another Star-Lord. I had to do a Star-Lord Guardians of the Galaxy 3 jacket and distress
Very
that
cool.
and pants. It's like, oh shit, this is kind of cool,
Yeah.
And then we were doing For All Mankind. I was like working on the shoes, putting those together, putting the outfit together, like a bunch of spacesuits for the TV show, and then also casting a bunch of things. So I mean, I'm doing a lot. You get to wear many hats at smaller shops, but at the bigger shops.
Do you like that though? Do you like that better than just doing the same thing over and over again? Real quick,
I do.
Kevin Vonsper is in the comments. He's saying,
Yo, what's up, man?
Kevin, how you doing? Kevin,
got your nose. Got your nose.
Yes. Real quick, Kevin is having the Sexecutioner on. If you're a fan of Guar, Kevin does the Guar pod, and he's had Techno Destructo. He had Sleazy P Martini. He's had a bunch of people. Oh, he just finished his live one with the Sexecutioner. So go check that out. When you're done here, go head over there and check out his podcast.
Yeah, Techno Destructo. He's a pretty good friend of mine, a really dear friend of mine. Like,
oh, nice.
He comes over. We play board games all the time. That's like when he comes over, he doesn't want to talk about Guar or any. I mean, he will still bring it up. He'll still bring it up. Trust me. But it's mostly comic books, anime, horror films, board games. That's what we bond over. It's great. We have like lots of game nights with him. He's a good dude. And
he lives out. I didn't know he lived out there. I thought he was in Canada or something.
No, he lives out here. Oh yeah, he lives out here.
Nice. That's great.
Back in like 2018, 19, he was living with me for about 6 months. So yeah, he was. Yeah. So we got to be pretty close. Yeah, he's a good dude.
That's awesome.
That's my cat.
Hi, cat. What's the name of your cat?
This is Lucifer.
Oh,
she's a Bengal cat.
Lucifer. Got it. Got it.
Yeah, I got it.
Lucifer.
Yeah, she's sweet. She meows a lot. But yeah,
the small shop. So you get to do a bunch of stuff. You get to distress outfits. And for those of you out there who don't know what distressing means, it's where you gotta make it look distressed. You got to rough it up. You want to make it lived in or worn in, for how it suits the story. And someone's got to do that. And that is one of clearly the many tasks that Andy is tasked with at this shop.
Yeah. At the bigger shops, though, you work on bigger shows, like more prestigious work. Like the last shop before this one, I was at KNB for about two and a half years. And I was doing all the Walking Dead stuff and
very cool
Space Jam. Oh god,
Creepshow
season 1 and 2. Yeah, I did.
Very cool.
I'm on the credits for that. Oh, my most favorite thing was I did a Tarantino film.
What did he do? He just put his hand over the camera and then disappeared. Was that part of the Tarantino film? Was it a magic trick? Michael Graves is live on the Timcast right now. What is the Timcast? I don't know what that is. Andy, where did you go? Andy! He left us, everybody. He left us. They left us. They had to. What movie is that from? Oh, you know what? He might have gotten a phone call. I bet you he got a phone call on his phone and it caused his thing to go out. That's what I'm going to imagine. So in the meantime, while we wait for him to return, let me tell you a little bit about Riot stickers. That's right, baby. We got Riot stickers right here. Look at these stickers. They have a UV coating that protects them from the sun. They're printed on vinyl. Here he is. He's back again. Hey, what's going on?
That was weird, man.
I just assumed your phone picked up or rang or something.
Yeah, it rang and it froze completely. That was weird.
That's all right. Hold on real quick, Andy. We're just doing our quick commercial here.
Yep.
Riotstickers.com. We have the sponsor of the Frumess channel. We're running a special promotion with Riot Stickers right now. You can get 1,000 stickers for $79. I mean, that is a steal. That's 7 cents per sticker. These are UV stickers, right? They're UV protection from the sun. They're printed on vinyl, so they're waterproof. And again, you're not going to find cheaper stickers than 7 cents a sticker. You can only get that through our special promotion right here on the Frumess channel. That's riotstickers.com. Yeah, I can hear you. I think I can hear you. Riotstickers.com /Frumess, Frumess. And that link is in the description. So that's the only place you're going to find the deal. Click on that link and you can get 1,000 stickers for $79. It's the only way to go about it. We are going to play our 60-second riotstickers.com thing. Sorry, I'm having trouble talking right now.
We make stickers, banners, and buttons too, posters and promo cards. There's nothing we can't print for you. From stage backdrops to bass drum heads, we can print on shirts, we can print on hats, we can print on pants. Cheap prices and high quality, quick turnaround times and free shipping. We also offer free artwork support, great customer service, and so much more. Riotstickers.com, Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. Riotstickers.com, Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. Riotstickers.com, Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. Riotstickers.com, Riot Stickers, we are the bomb.
Riotstickers.com, baby. Riotstickers.com. So, all right, hold on real quick. Let me just put this down. Check, 1 2 1 2. Yeah, we're good. All right, so we were talking about what it's like to work at these shops and work in the your favorite tasks and your least favorite tasks. So what is something that no, you know what we were talking about? We were talking about you can't hear me at all.
No, my wife is trying to talk to me while you're talking, and I'm just getting distracted.
Okay, that's okay. Hello, hi. I don't know.
Oh yeah, here she is. She also did makeup with Stuart and Jeff. Come here, just say hi. Yeah, she's all like, I'm not camera ready, but
that's okay. If
she's still lovely and beautiful. Okay. Here she is.
Hi there.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, she can't hear shit. Pick up the headset in, but yeah, Stuart would try to make her eat all kinds of gross stuff, like veal and like pate, and she'd be fucking barfing, and Stuart's like, no,
monstrous.
But then he would give me good wine.
Then he'd get her good wine.
Yeah, he'd be like, try this wine. I'm like, sure, yes. So
do it.
Yeah. It was good.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Have some water.
Don't want to interrupt your interview. Have fun. Bye bye.
Have some water.
All right, very nice to meet you. Freaking so yeah, so you were working on KNB, you worked on Walking Dead, you worked on Creepshow,
Tarantino. I finally did a Tarantino film.
Oh, that's what it was. We were talking right. Tarantino. What Tarantino movie did you do?
Yeah, it was his last one, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Wow.
Yeah, that was cool.
That thing.
It was the very end where they had that dog that like attacks the Manson family, the pit bull, I believe.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was cool. That was really cool.
You were on set for that.
I wasn't on set. No,
you weren't on set. You just got to build the dog. You got.
Yeah, I got to. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. See, most of the time I'm never on set. Most effects people aren't on set. They sit in a stinky, dirty, toxic shop and they build things. It's not glorious work. It's not fancy, but it's cool. Then we send all that shit to set, and the people on the set who execute it, they get all the fucking glory and all the credit. So.
And that was going to be my next question, actually, as someone who has spent very little time. So I consider I am a filmmaker. I make micro budget feature films, but I'm not in the environments that you are in at all. I don't know anything about them. Tell me who is the person that is executing that on the set? Is that just special effects department that gets the special effects makeups? I mean, don't you need a special effects makeup artist to be on set to apply makeup? So is there like an intermediate sort of role in that kind of way, or how does that all work?
Well, first off, you got to be union, and to go union for makeup is like winning the lottery. It's really hard.
But once you're in, when you're in, right? Like that's
it's even then you're not guaranteed work. You know, the makeup union is so oversaturated. It has so many people in it right now. Most people that go union are usually like females who are trying to, older male makeup artists are trying to bang these female chicks, and so they get them in. It sucks. I know it's good for them though. It's good for them, But or you have to work like X amount of days for so many years, and then
you have to earn.
And then you have to pay $8,000 to join. It's crazy.
And you know what? It's easy. Someone could say to me right now what I'm about to say as kind of sounding conceited or whatever. But at the end of the day, like everything you're describing, it's like, if I want to make a movie, I should just go and try and make a fucking movie. Like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, why do I want to try and climb this ladder? It's a rat race that I'm never going to friggin' win. Because at the end of the day, and this is a very generalized comment or notion, is that there's so much competition, and there's always going to be someone that's better than you in some way, shape, or form, or somebody who has a better in than you that beats you out. And it's just kind of like I don't even want to maybe I don't want to even put my energy into that. I'd rather be fulfilled in doing my own independent projects right where I'm at and just call it a day and be happy in that way, shape, or form. I suppose it is different if it is your livelihood, if it's not just an artistic endeavor, if this is how you are making money, it's a completely different conversation. It's completely different notions here. But
yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it is the way you make a living. And sometimes it's very easy to, become jaded,
Yeah, sure.
But there's once in a while you have to realize shit, I'm part of an elite group of people that get to make some amazingly cool, awesome things. Like people when I was 15 were daydreaming about what people like me now were doing in the shop. Like, how are they making all this shit? And I'm doing it. I'm fucking doing it, So it's cool. But yeah, there's a lot of times where the politics, they really wear you down. They really get to you. And
that's literally what when you were talking about distressing clothes, and I was thinking about that's what I do in my free time. I'm doing this for this scene that I have to shoot. I have to distress these clothes. Yeah. I would never I can't imagine a million years being paid to do that. And that is your reality. That's amazing. That is fucking amazing, dude.
It's cool. It's really cool.
You sit there, you probably listen to your own music if you want. You put your earbuds in. You're just I gotta fucking distress this. And it's that's 9 to 5.
Today I was blasting Demo Borgir, then I was playing Rainbow, and then Halloween, blasting it, just fucking blasting it. And I'm distressing a Marvel zombie outfit. It's fucking cool.
That's a pretty great reality, Andy. That's a pretty great reality.
Yeah, I'm blessed.
And it also does speak to the idea of again, when money is tied to your passion, it can fuck with your emotions, man. It's when those things overlap, and then it's oh, this is my passion, but it's also work, or it's my work.
Yeah, that happens way too often. It's people get so attached to the work that they're doing for the shop owner. And if the shop owner wants to make a change, they come in and give you new direction, and the artist doesn't agree with it. Oh, they'll butt heads,
Wow.
Yeah, it's very hard to. take a
How do
step
you,
back and go like,
what do you do in that situation? Do you like, I mean, is there like, how far do you push the envelope, or do you just go, well, you know, look, I want to, it's like what you were saying before. I want to be a guy, you know, you don't want to get blacklisted. You don't want to make waves. You want to be an enjoyable person, which means you have to be an agreeable person. So like, on what level do you let go of the rope? You know, it's like,
it depends on the
Weird,
situation,
man.
you know,
Sure.
if
sure,
it's like,
sure.
if it's something that production's calling for, then, you know,
Right.
then the shop owner is just kind of following orders. He's doing what he's told and he's just passing it on to you. So you kind of, you'll grumble about it and you have to do it. But if it's the shop owner that's telling you to do something different and you know a better way to do it, or you got some foresight that it's not going to work down the road because you've been down that road before, then you'll kind of push back a little bit. And it's hard not to, you know. And sometimes they'll listen to you, sometimes they won't. And then if it doesn't work, and then you're pissed off, then you like, you can't tell them I told you so, you know.
Now let me ask you this question. I mean, you've been doing this for so long, and you're so like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you're so steeped in all of these different processes. Have you ever thought about just striking out on your own, or is that just like that's just not even worth the effort and energy? It's better to be in somebody else's situation where you can just sort of come and go as you please.
Okay, you know, a lot of people, they say that they would never do it, then they end up doing it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times the people that start their own shops, they're either people that don't get along with people in other shops. So they're like, I'm just gonna go on my own, but they don't recognize that they don't get along with other people. They just naturally don't get along with people. And they're like, well, I could do it better by myself. And then those people become your boss, and they're assholes. You know, they suck. And that's a lot. You know, but some of them are really nice. Some are really, really cool. So, but yeah, you know, we're all artists. We're all, we're not always the best with people. Like, you know, you got these guys that were in the room sculpting as, you know, 12-year-olds up until their 20s, and they finally make it into the effects industry, and they didn't work on their people skills. You know, they're just passionate about their work.
They're intelligent artists, but they don't have empathy, or they don't have emotional. Here's the thing that in every industry you need emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, probably the number one thing, right?
You would think it's common sense, but it's not common. Trust me, it's not common. It's not common. And I'm not saying this condescendingly in any way, but I think a lot of people in the industry might have a little touch of autism, you know, because they just obsess over things. And
right, you mean like somewhere on the spectrum of
somewhere on the spectrum, yeah. And they don't get social cues when someone's upset. There's a lot of that going on. There's a lot of that going on.
Interesting. Maybe there's a correlation there.
So it's really hard to find. There's a lot of good people, but like I said, there's a lot of people that are just like, dude, yeah, you're never gonna work in this industry for long. You know, I've seen a lot of people come and go. Right.
Over 20 years, I'd imagine. Kevin is saying you have a 3D printer now, and that you should make some Dukey. That was in response to your own shop. And that you should.
That's a good idea.
Miniatures.
Yeah, I should do haunted garage miniatures, right?
And Tyson, good evening to you. Thank you for joining us. We're here with Andy. We're talking.
That's a good one, Kevin.
Yeah. So, and then what is like, again, like what is like your personal favorite thing to do? Like, is it
painting?
Painting.
Yeah.
Painting. Okay. Yeah. So what is that? What do you mean like painting props, or painting like masks, or what kind of painting?
Within the industry, you'll do masks, you'll do prosthetics, you'll do right now, like with all the superhero movies, like if you're not doing a superhero suit, you're not going to make money normally.
Wow.
That's a big part of it, is superhero suits. So it's like, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
So yeah, a lot of people don't like to paint the superhero suits because it's very bland. Like the most creative you'll get is like maybe distressing it, maybe looking at having it look like battle damaged. And for a lot of the painters in the industry, they don't like doing that. They want to do like monsters. They want to do a T-Rex or something. They don't want to do a boring superhero. So, but
What
yeah,
is it
I mean,
about the painting? What is it about the painting? Is it like is it just the idea of making something look super realistic? Is there an aspect of the painting that you find really rewarding?
yeah, you could take something like a really mediocre, bad sculpture,
Yeah,
and a good paint job will save it.
right.
It'll make it come to
Transform
life.
it. Cool.
And
Very cool.
and then it'll be on screen.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you like Psycho Gorman? Did you see Psycho Gorman?
I for me that was like the smash hit of 2021.
Wasn't
I've
that
seen that movie so many.
something else, man? Especially if you're a
Fantastic.
special effects guy, like the
It's Todd
miniatures.
Masters. Yeah, Todd Masters. He's the man. Yeah, he used to have a shop here in LA for many, many years. But then I think he got tired. He had two shops here in LA, then one in Canada, and he got tired of it. So he closed shop. Well, it's too expensive here. It's the competition is too fierce, and the budgets get lower and lower. Then you have all these shops that are like lowballing one another, the lowballing productions. So you can't. It's hard to make money, and so if they're lowballing productions, therefore the employees are going to get a lower rate too. So it's shitty. So a lot of the industry people, they want to try to make all these shops go union, because if they go union, then they have a flat rate, and the flat rate's pretty good. So, but a lot of the old timers, they're fighting. It's a weird thing going on around. There's this weird struggle of like non-shop union and shop union. Right now, I'm at a shop that's union. There's only like 4 or 5 union shops in the industry, and I'm at one of them. So I just went union.
So you are in the union.
Just I'm like in a weird limbo state where I've got all my hours, I've submitted them. I just got to go through all the classes and stuff and get sworn in. But yes, technically, kind of yes, I guess. I could go on set and stuff, and I get union pay, but I'm for costuming, not for makeup. Yeah, it's weird. And it's cheaper for costumes. It's only $800 opposed to $8,000 for makeup.
Wow.
Yeah, big difference. So, and you get more work too.
What is it? God, I just had a massive brain fart. Hold on, Tyler. What does Tyler say? He's saying, "Oh, first of all, wait, Jeff, have you seen the funny ways that Googie would sign copies of Walk Among Us, drawing hair on his head and different hats?" No, I have not.
That's funny.
That is funny. I'm glad to know that Googie does that. Kevin wants to know, are you working with Mike right now?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Mike who?
I don't know. Kevin, Mike who? No, that's, I mean, man.
Oh, Mike. Oh, I know. Okay. I know who he's talking about. Yeah. No, but him and I have been talking about we've been talking about D&D a lot through Messenger. So, but yeah, we're not working. No, not together. I would though. I'm down.
What is like your personal dream project, like in terms of special effects, makeup, or is it like really just anything you're like, whatever, I'm into? Like, is there something that like you like a professional goal that like or dream project that you really want to sink your teeth into, or like,
I've already done it. I've already done it. Haunted Garage. That was it.
Haunted Garage. Okay. Well, we're gonna move. We're gonna get to Haunted Garage in a minute. I just meant, even with, I know you did stuff for them, special effects, makeup stuff for that, but I just mean within the other
film
world
industry.
Within the world that we were just talking about, is there anything that like you really want to sink your teeth into that you are vying for or aiming?
I did Star Wars, so that was cool.
Wow. Which Star Wars did you do?
Mandalorian. Yeah, season 3.
What?
So, yeah. So that was cool. We did 80 Mandalorian suits for that. That was pretty insane.
So you had to just
So-
dress the Mandalorian suits.
Yeah, that's pretty
Okay.
awesome.
That's
And I did a bunch of mold work for it, and I did a bunch of like fabrication stuff in the sewing department. It was fun. It was a lot of work, but it was also I got to be careful with this one. Because Disney.
understandable.
Yes, Disney. That's all I'm going to say.
Understandable.
Disney. But
Yeah.
overall, it was
Very
was
cool.
a
Very cool.
it was a
Cool,
bucket list thing.
Star Wars. You did Star Wars. That's cool. Great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Kevin wants to know: have you hung out with Hunter lately? And
Oh.
you need to make props for the secret Haunted Garage cover song music video. That's what Kevin is saying.
Cover song music video. I haven't seen Hunter probably in a few months. He was supposed to come to my wife's birthday, and he said he was, then he didn't show up. But I haven't spoken to him since, so I don't know. I'm not mad or anything. It's just, that's how it is. Life.
Is
Life gets
Hunter
in
a
the way.
Guar guy? Hunter's a Guar guy?
He's the founding member of Guar. Yeah.
Hunter. Hunter. The
Hunter Jackson.
Yeah.
Techno Destructo, yeah.
Right.
Oh, Hellraiser. I did Hellraiser. Yeah, that's right.
What did you do
Yeah.
on Hellraiser? I loved, dude. I'm not like Hellraiser's not like a sacred cow to me. So I went into the new Hellraiser, absolutely loved it. Really had a good time. Thought the movie worked really well. Just like enjoyed the shit out of it. Really, truly. What the hell did you do on that one?
I worked on Chatterer. I worked on Pinhead. God, I remember when I was working on it, I thought the movie was gonna suck. I thought it was gonna be terrible. I was pleasantly surprised when I saw it because they didn't have we were building all these like prosthetics and creature suits for actors that weren't even cast yet. And normally you need like a live cast so you could sculpt on top of the live casts. So it's like custom fit. We have like none of this custom stuff. We had nothing. It was like, what's going on? But yet we still had to have the ball rolling, And
Sure.
this was also last year. I wasn't really, for me, it wasn't fun because I wasn't ready to come back to work yet. At the time, I was like COVID was happening. I was watching the kids. My wife was going to work. I was enjoying my break from all the chemicals, but they needed people. Like the industry at that time, for whatever reason, was so busy, they couldn't find people to work at the shop. You got to remember, all these effects people are jaded. They don't care what the project is. They're like, oh, Hellraiser, great, whatever. There's been like 7 or 8 other ones that have been terrible.
Right.
Who gives a fuck,
Right.
So, but I heard it's gonna be a reboot. I went, oh, that's interesting. Okay. So, I tried to make it work, and I worked on it for about maybe 3 weeks, I would say.
Wow.
But at the time, it was a dark time for me because it was like really hot. It was like 115 degrees in the shop, no air conditioning. There was no booth to work out of to like do all of your casting and molding and stuff like that. So it was just really uncomfortable. And then my cousin killed himself. So yeah. So I got word of that. So I took like a 2 week.
Dude.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But so I come back from work. I come back to work after I kind of deal with all that shit, deal with his funeral and all that, and then like one of my worst enemies in the industry. I don't have any except for like one. He's working in the shop. Yeah, they had to replace me.
Moriarty.
Yeah, so I was just like, I'm tapping out. I'm done. Like my headspace, I was in a bad spot. So
Sure.
So they put up with me with all the bullshit I was going through. So I give them a lot of credit for that. But yeah, it just, for me, it wasn't enjoyable at all. But the end result was fucking amazing. I mean, the work was
Oh my God.
stellar. The designs were incredible. They looked
Loved
really
it.
cool.
Loved it.
Oh.
Loved it.
In the movie, though, I kind of felt like the characters like a bunch of dumb Grand Theft Auto AI. Man, I didn't give a shit about any of them. I just wanted to see cool ways that they're going to die.
Very they were paper thin, but that was not super inconsequential to me.
It was. Yeah.
I actually, to be quite honest, I was kind of reminded of the Evil Dead remake, like the drug addict Jane type character. It was very reminiscent of that, but that's not what made the movie so awesome. It was just the way that they presented the story. The story was so much more coherent to me than it was in the original Hellraiser. I can't explain why. I just, you know, I mean, I never really knew what was going on in the first Hellraiser movie. I don't know why that was. I just didn't, you know.
It's the editing. The editing's a little janky, right?
Right. So I'm not I'm not crazy about that. Like it is a little like incoherent. Like, and basically Kevin agrees with us about the comparison.
Yeah, you know, with all my friends, like when they say what's it like, I say, oh, it's like the Evil Dead remake. It's not a complete insult. It's not an insult at all, but it's not my favorite either. You know, I enjoyed it, but I wasn't like blown away by it at the same time. I thought they could have done more with the gore. I thought they
yeah. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, they went cheap on. Yeah, they could have done more, but it was enjoyable overall. It was enjoyable. I give like a 7.5.
But what's interesting, what was interesting was I was actually able to follow the story as opposed to the original. Kevin says it right here. OG Hellraiser was really flimsy in terms of plot and mythos at the end when they disappear and the special effects a lot. Yeah, it just like I'm actually like following the story of like the dude, the Frank type character who is, you know, I mean, I was like, oh, wait a minute. There's like different levels of different types of rewards. Like that is not, they don't ever communicate any of that shit in the original Hellraiser at all.
No.
For some reason, Hellraiser, and I have nothing bad to say about the original Hellraiser apart.
Well, you know, I've read Hellbound Heart. I read it in high school. And
you did?
Yeah, I don't think that was in the book. It was a novella. It was pretty short. But I don't remember different levels of there's Hellraiser 3 CD sent by the camera, sent by.
Yeah, dude, Anthony Hickox, man, the CD.
Yeah.
Shout out
pretty
to
bonkers.
Anthony Hickox.
Yeah, but no, it was good overall. Like I didn't like the first third of the movie, but like once they got to the house, the mansion, that's when things started to really pick up, and it was pretty cool. And they did some really cool stuff visually, like when she was in that ambulance. Remember that?
Yeah,
and the whole thing.
All that stuff. See, all that stuff where they like kind of really show. They really do show the, you know, how they're sort of these interdimensional beings, which is not really. It's not, it doesn't work the same way in the first one. You really feel like they come from another dimension in this new movie, and it's quite terrifying. And this idea that like that they are just transformed, or that they're just seeking sensation and pleasure beyond human comprehension, which is just, you know, demons to some, angels to others, whatever.
What else did I work? I think I worked on that. Do you remember that weird little motor engine block in his chest? I don't know what the fuck it was.
Nerve. It was a nerve. All of his nerves were strung up to the motor block, and every time, like every couple of minutes, it would tighten the nerves. It was pulling on all of the nerve endings in his body. That was a cool device. That was crazy.
See, you paid attention to it more than I did.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, but that's what's so funny is that it just was easier than say that original Hellraiser movie. It was so I don't know. I just thought it was interesting.
I'll definitely rewatch it, but
you know who I had on here last night that I think you'd find really interesting was Frank Farrell, the producer of Street Trash.
Oh, cool.
And you know, Street Trash, which has
I haven't seen that in a long. I've seen it one time. One time.
Oh my god! The special effects in Street Trash for 1987 for like a no budget movie. You should watch it through like.
There's a penis football scene, right?
In fact, the guy who gets his penis cut off is the guy who was on my show last night. That's the guy, and I didn't even know that as I was talking to him. And he was also the seltzer zombie in Dawn of the Dead as well.
Oh wow!
And
that's cool.
Yeah, I mean that was
OG cool. OG Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, OG Dawn of the Dead. He was so he's one of the producers on Spookies, and Spookies was screening at my local Alamo, and he was there. I was like, you got to come on and he's trying to make Spookies 2 right now, which I think
Spookies. Did that have like donkey lips in it from Snitcher Shorts?
It didn't, but Spookies is some batshit insanity. If you have not seen it, you need to check out Spookies.
I remember the box cover, but
the box cover is super memorable. But like, it was shot right here, right. You know, if Sleepy Hollow's over there, if you go 10 minutes the other way, it was shot right in Rye, New York. So,
oh man, yeah, I didn't go out enough when I was there in New York. It was beautiful, but I should have gone out more.
If you find yourself back up here, you just call me. You call me,
okay?
Or if you're in New York for any reason, call me. please.
Yeah, I remember you had Kevin on your show, and then you guys were talking about me for a little bit, and I
Yeah.
was playing the episode in my car with my
Right,
kids, and it made me look so fucking cool, man. That was awesome. I'm just dad to them. They don't give a shit, you know. Then they hear me on the radio. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's rad. It's fucking rad.
I remember I called you and I thanked you about that. Yeah,
you
that
did,
was cool.
You did.
That was cool.
That's why we're doing this now, actually, because I was like, dude, you should come on the show, you know, like, because why not, you know?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Haunted Garage, because that's a huge part. That's like a huge part. You're so passionate. I really, from afar, like I see all the stuff you post or what you posted in the past and whatnot. Like,
Yeah.
you and Kevin too. Kevin's like the number one, like art, like historian, archivist, like just like, you know, guy. But you are so incredibly passionate about Haunted Garage. Tell me about that passion, like how that passion began, and try and weave some of how you got into music as well into that. And I'll just let you. I'll wind you up and let you roll. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, the band is like everything that I'm about. You know, it's like a little metal, a little punk, a lot of horror, makeup. You know, offensive lyrics. You know, the energy at the shows is great. You got dancing girls. You know, gore. It was just everything I wanted. And I remember hearing about them back in the 90s and like Fangoria and stuff. And I thought, whoa, this looks crazy. What is this shit? You know? And I never heard the CD though. I just remember seeing the ads in like Fangoria and like some of the metal magazines. But then I finally moved to LA in 2000. And then I was working at a video store called Mondo Video Go-Go. Yes, that Mondo. And when I was working there, some weird little dude that looks like Peter Lorre and with these eye bags like this walks in. And I'm like, he looks familiar. And then he brings up his movies. And then I was like, what's your name? He goes, oh, I'm Dukey Flyswatter. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's talk. And so, yeah, he told me, you know, about Haunted Garage. This is in 2000. So the band was already broken up. So, yeah, this is in 2000. So 22 years ago. I'm 21 years old at the time. I'm really young, you know. Just moved to LA, probably 3 months here. And he was really nice to me. He would, you know, call me names, you know, really bad names just to get under my skin. He thought I was like, oh, this little punk kid. But, you know, we became friends over the years as I got older. And then in 2008, they did a reunion show at Safari Sam's. And I was like, I'm going to go see this. I'll die if I don't go see it. I'm going to go if my life depends on it. So at that time, I was working on a World of Warcraft project with my wife. So we heard about the show. So it was like perfect. You know, we were just like, yeah, we're going to go after work and go see Haunted Garage. And then, yeah, Kevin was there. I didn't know Kevin at the time. But we went and saw them. And I remember seeing the show just going, you know what, this is great, but I know I could do a better job in this band. This band's perfect for me. I would do a better job because I felt the guys that they had performing, other than Gabby Godhead and Dukey, they just didn't have the Haunted Garage persona. They had like really cheap Halloween costumes on. They just didn't have good makeup, you know. Their musicianship was you know, mediocre. I thought was mediocre, and I just remember seeing my wife. Oh, I wish I could be in this band, you know. And then fast forward to like 2013, I believe. And I just gotten out of some really bad black metal band. All those people were toxic as fuck, you know. And I was just kind of bumming out. And then I see Dukey post something about like reforming the band. And I was like, oh, damn it. And he's like, yeah, our band's going to be jamming. And I'm like, oh, well, there goes my chance. And then like a week or so later after he does that post, he's like saying that they need a new replacement guitar player. And I went right away. I just went and messaged him on Facebook. I went, dude, like I play guitar and I do special effects. And he just, without even hearing me play, he's like, if you want in the band, you're in the band. I was like, whoa, wait, oh shit. You know, I got to have a conversation with my wife first. I just had a kid, you know. I just had an infant, you know. And so he's like, well, how about this? You come to see my cover band play. He was in a band called Dukey was in a band with the Haunted Garage guitar player Eric. It was called Undead Kennedys. It was a zombie Dead Kennedys cover band.
I did not know that.
Right? Yeah. And so, hey, stop it, killer. So I went to the show, and I was like, oh, this is great. This is fun. And Dukey did an interview after the show, and they asked him about the reformation of Haunted Garage. And he's like, yeah, we're going to be doing, Haunted Garage again. We're going to have all the same props and all the same shenanigans. And there's our new guitar player right there. And then the camera turned to me, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm in. My wife was like, yeah, you're in the band now. That's it. So that was how I got into the band. So, it was great. It was a dream come true. It was a dream come true. Yeah, I don't know who it was, Kevin. I don't know who was doing the interview. I don't know if it was ever posted or not. I don't know. He's an archivist. Kevin knows the most about Haunted more than anybody on the planet.
Kevin is well versed. I know zilch about Haunted Garage, but
he's a Haunted Garage authority.
No, I'm in the group, and I always see the posts of Haunted Garage. And Kevin's saying right now, he's saying, I'm still looking for that interview. He's meticulous in his documentation of this band and group.
Yeah, he is. But then we started just jamming. Then I think my first show was at a place called CIA, which just closed down. It was owned by the guy who was in Blood Diner, Carl Crew. He was the blonde guy.
Yeah,
and Blood Diner was written by Dukey
Flyswatter.
Right. So that was cool. That was our first show, and the place was fucking packed. It was just just bodies wall to wall. It was pretty insane. So it was a lot of energy there. And I remember just thinking, I'm gonna fucking like this. This is amazing. And just the energy and the interaction with the crowd was just insane. And then our second show was a zombie walk thing, and there was 1,500 people there, and it was just for me, that was the biggest show I ever played. So I just remember thinking, if this is how it is, this is gonna be really cool. But then that was one of our biggest shows right there. Our second show was one of our biggest shows. So
let me ask you this. Let me interject real quick. So you tell them that you're into special effects, that special effects stuff too. And again, here's my ignorance to Haunted Garage. I don't know. Are they a band like Guar where the gags are constantly evolving, or is there set gags the way Kiss has certain signature things that they do
in their glory days and
signature things?
Well, Guar, they have a storyline. They have a repeating cast of characters, so they're a little more comic booky, I guess.
Right.
So they have characters. The Haunted Garage, it was more horror oriented. They would just have all these horror gags. You could look it up on YouTube and see some crazy shit. Really.
Oh
but yeah, they would always just.
I have.
They'd always
for sure.
But they knew a lot of effects people back in the 80s and the 90s in the heyday. So they would always get people to oh, what do you have? What do you have what'd you find in the dumpster? What could we use? Oh, we got this cool skinless suit. So they would just incorporate it into the show, So back in the 80s and early 90s, the three bands, I guess the shock rock bands was Haunted Garage, Green Jello, and Guar. Right. But of course, those two went on to get a lot bigger, and Haunted Garage broke up. And they had a 20-year hiatus. So they did one or two shows in between, maybe 3 or 4. But yeah, for the most part, they were inactive. So.
But did you, speaking of Return of the Living Dead, that was somebody else who I met at the Sleepy Hollow International Film Festival. Was Tony Gardner was there.
Oh, yeah.
And it was funny. Yeah. Tony Gardner, I recognized him. I was the only person who recognized him. And I go, holy shit, you're Tony Gardner. And he was so shocked that anybody knew who he was. And we took a picture together. And his daughter, Kara, was there too. And she's doing a lot of cool stuff too. She's got doing a Chucky documentary, whatnot. But he was taken aback that somebody on the East Coast at this film festival knew who he was, because he's not behind the scenes guy. Nobody. I was like, dude, fucking Blob, Return of the Living Dead,
Darkman.
The dude's a fucking legend. He's a fucking legend. He just did Studio 666, which had some great.
Oh, right. I didn't see that movie. It's pretty good.
Oh, you're gonna love all the gags in it. It's really fun.
Okay.
Really. Whether you like Dave Grohl or not, whether you like the Foo Fighters or not, you'll have a good time. Yeah, I don't mind. I some people don't like Dave Grohl. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
But no, what I wanted to say was about. Oh, so was there anything that you brought to the table? We were like, hey, you know what I can do? I could do this thing. And what do you guys think of that? Should we do something like this? Or like, did you like what did you well,
when I came to the band, I recommended that we all have our own characters and that we play those characters instead of just going up on stage with jeans and t-shirt. Because I think in the old Haunted Garage, the only people that really were in character was Gabby Godhead, their cross-dressing guitar player who was incredible, incredible stage presence, and then Dukey, but the rest of the guys were just like jeans, tank top, ripped jeans, and they had their names, but they weren't characters, So yeah, I recommended we did our own characters, and so I had my Satan character, and we had the zombie character, and like this demonic biker character, and some weird death row inmate character, and then Dukey, he's just like a ghoul, but it was and then also I built the mic stand for the band. I built a bunch of different props, a bunch of different gags. We one time we did a benefit for him when he was gonna have brain surgery, and so I built like this prop on his head where like his brain was like bandaged around it. Then the girls were able to open it up and scoop out it was bananas. It was like stage blood, And so they were putting it in a spoon, just flicking it into the audience. The audience was taking it and putting it in their hair. It was just like, oh, that's foul, but wow, that's cool.
So fun. That's so fun. Kevin says that he found Gabby and that they're doing an interview next month. I didn't know Gabby is missing.
No way, dude. How the fuck did you score that?
Why is that? No, why is that a big deal? Explain to me.
Gabby, okay,
Gabby's
a lot of people, he's a guitar player for Haunted Garage, the one that he's a cross-dresser, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they're like, no Gabby, no Haunted Garage.
Oh, wow.
It's like Slash not being in Guns N' Roses.
Right. Okay. Okay, that explains it.
So he's like a pivotal member of the band. So, and he didn't want to do an interview he was like, nah, I'm putting that all behind me. We were trying to get him into this documentary. He just wouldn't do it. So, wow. And he's very elusive. He's hard to find. So, wow, that's Kevin.
Congratulations, Kevin. I hope the interview is full of wonderful sound bites, and I hope it all goes smoothly. It's not.
Wow.
I'm gonna tell you, hunting for interviews it's challenging. It's not easy. It's challenging. And it can be very rewarding when you strike the iron. When you do. I'll tell you something. I mentioned at the beginning of the show, for years I had always wanted to interview Eerie Von from Misfits, from Dancing with My Name.
Yeah.
And it just never happened. It just never ever happened for years in one form or another, for whatever project I was trying to get off the ground. I was always trying to interview him. Finally, this year, I finally got him to sit down for an interview, and we spoke for 5 hours and 15 minutes.
So he's very receptive, huh?
It was one of the best interviews I've ever done. It was insane. So I know that feeling. It was, for me personally, I felt a great sense of accomplishment. He does interviews all the time, but I really feel like we really peeled the onion layers back in this interview. It just was a really thorough, deep, long interview. And so I know what that was.
I'm sure you had a lot of questions too.
I had a lot of questions, and I was the right kind of guy to ask him because I really did a lot of research and had spoken to a lot of people. And
oh my God,
I put him through his paces.
What was that book he released with all of his photos that he took of the Misfits and Samhain?
Misery Obscura.
That's it, Misery Obscura. Yeah, yeah.
Hold on. To switch tracks though, to go back to Haunted Garage. So you're playing in the band. You also released a record. You guys did a brand new record. Tell me about that process of making the record.
I'd honestly rather talk about Misfits, but okay, we'll talk about Haunted Garage. That's cool. I'm kidding.
We could absolutely talk about Misfits afterwards. Don't worry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So the record, we finally put out the EP on vinyl, made it a full length record because we released the EP. It was like a 6-7 song EP in 2016, and we weren't really happy with the logo and the back and the artwork, so we just needed to change it. Like, it kind of looked to me a little unprofessional. The cover's good, but the back, like, it shows the whole band with like Slender Man in the background. It's all pixelated. Our logo, I don't know why the fuck they don't want to get like a legit logo done. It was like some cheap fucking font that they used that said Haunted Garage. It looked weird. So yeah, during the quarantine, we didn't have a whole lot going on, and I said, Dukey, let's do the fucking record. Like, this could be our last thing we ever do. So let's just put it out. So we redid the artwork. We got I think like 3 new tracks on there. So we got Surf Nazis Must Die on there, and then Judgment Road. And Surf Nazis is like one of the biggest crowd pleasers for the band.
That's your favorite one or something, right? I think
that's my personal favorite. Yeah, that's my. It's just like, it has a good energy to it, and the crowd sings along to it. Like, everyone.
And he wrote that movie. He wrote the movie, or he was involved in it.
And it's part of Dukey's legacy too. Yeah. So it's
a full length album now.
It's a full length now. Yeah, it's a full length. It has like 9 tracks plus a studio jam session on there that was just recorded with our guitar players, like a little recorder, but it sounds great. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, this is, wow, holy shit. Yeah, put this on the album. So it's pretty fucking cool, man. So and the record has like artwork on it too. It has like a pentagram. Then at the tip, it's like each of our faces, 5 different faces. It's
awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, man. So, and just for me as a fan, just like hold a record, like with me on it, it's like,
sure.
Oh, this is it. Like, it doesn't get any better. I'm done. Like, retire.
You had been in bands. You mentioned you were in bands before that. Was music that always like a primary artistic endeavor, or was that just something that you did like more for fun on the side? Like, where did music fit in with everything?
As a kid, I always thought I was going to be a musician, just like a touring musician of some sort.
Sure.
And then, I wasn't in bands for a number of years, didn't do anything musically, just sat on the couch and play guitar here and there. I've been playing, since like 91 for a long time. So 30 years now. And yeah, I always wanted to like be in a band that did something shock rocky, like something that made a scene, not only just had a show, but like had like music to back it up, like good music. I wanted it to go hand in hand. So that's why for me, Haunted Garage was a perfect marriage. It already had an established sort of underground cult following.
Sure.
And I was able to like I think I was able to come in and bring like a little heavier, youthful sound to the band. Because all the guys, they're older. They're older dudes. I mean, and they're all energetic.
Youthful energy to the band.
I'm 43, but I brought the youthful energy. I mean, like at this point, the young next above me is like 50. The guy's 50 years old. So
yeah.
So sure. I was like the young guy. I got them to like tune the guitars down to like D, and so Dukey didn't have to like strain his voice. So basically, I brought like a youthful energy to the band, so that was kind of cool, And
as you said, in terms of like, that for you was just that was a real that was a sense of accomplishment. That was something that you always wanted to do. You got to accomplish it. You checked it off the bucket list of whatever, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
that's really cool, man. Congrats to you on that. That's really
thank you.
That's really fun, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, I wish it was still going, man. It's like that was a dream, man. That was a dream gig for sure.
It's funny how like we never know we're in a bubble of something until it pops. And
I knew.
Well, that's even better if because then even when things might be challenging or hard, you're like, look, this is a bubble. It's gonna pop someday. Yeah. Just do whatever needs to be done, and like You know, I personally, I've been in bubbles and not realize that they were bubbles, and then the bubbles pop, and you know, you take it for granted, and then maybe there's like a time where you're really sad that you missed the bubble, and you're like, I wish that the bubble still existed, and then you can get to a place maybe where I'm really just talking about myself here, but like maybe you get to a place where you're grateful for that was a certain time in a certain place where you did a thing, you had a lot of fun, and you'll cherish the memories forever. And that's the way it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. That's perfect.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, my kids are growing up with me in the band. You know, they come to some of the shows and you get to watch Daddy on stage perform, you know, and they were nice to me for the rest of the night. They thought I was a rock star for a little bit, you know, it was cool, man. Yeah. Kevin says, yeah, longest running lineup of Haunted Garage. Yeah, that's for sure. 10 years. Yeah.
That's crazy. So that was the longest running lineup.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I can't wait to see the documentary that I can't wait to see the
same here.
It's gonna be cool, man. It's gonna be really cool because I know very little about Haunted Garage. Really, the stuff that I know through Kevin. I first learned about Haunted Garage because of Kevin. So it's always been in my periphery, but it's never been something that, like, you know, I've never done like a deep dive on it or anything, but I'm just waiting for the doc. I'll just watch the doc and really appreciate all of the different facets of Dukey Flyswatter.
Yeah, because I remember I told you I was in the band when I met you.
Right. And then that's how we knew. We both mutually were like, oh, we both know Kevin, because I brought up Kevin. Because like if you're in Haunted Garage, I thought that was really funny actually. Because it was like such a small world. You're like, oh, Haunted Garage. Like, oh my God, Haunted Garage. Yeah, my friend Kevin was always talking about Haunted Garage.
Yeah. And I got to give Kevin a lot of credit because there was a lot of songs that were like kind of bad audio recordings that Dukey wanted to like play live or re-record. And I don't know why Kevin did it, but like he learned the songs and demoed them. And from those demos, we were able to like learn the songs and perform them. You know, it's like that's a super fan right there, man. That's crazy passion. That's crazy to me.
Let me tell you something. I had spoken casually with Kevin about like, you know, because I just finished my second feature film, and he was like, thank you. And I was like, we were talking about music. He's like, hey man, if you ever need any music or whatever. And I was like, I took him up on it. Because again, like I love that. I love the collaboration. I went to my friend Bob. I was like, Bob, I need 15 seconds of something playing on a TV. Do you want to shoot something? You want to shoot some 15 seconds of madness? Because this guy Bob Rosen creates madness. Just give me 15 seconds I can put on the TV. So Bob put something together. I said to Kevin, I was like, Kevin, I want you to basically re-engineer Danzig Black Acid Devil, the song. I want you to like cover it without actually covering it, because I can't use the song legally. So in like a night, Kevin's at first he's like, I don't know, man. I'm supposed to go play dates with Green Jello. And I was like, hey, listen, no, I was on a tight deadline. I was like, look, no
pressure.
Yeah, no pressure, man. If you could do it, you could do it. If you can't, you can't. And like, without missing a beat, that dude friggin' the next day, he's like, here, how's this? And it's exactly what I wanted. It's Black Acid Devil without it actually being Black Acid Devil. It fit perfectly in the sequence that I needed it for. And it was great. It's just, I love that sort of shit. I love when that shit works together. So, you know, and it's just a great example of what you were saying about demoing or just doing something really creative in a very short period of time.
Yeah. We had a lot of songs that we wrote for Haunted Garage that just never made it to like to play live or on the recordings. You know
you guys were creatively writing songs.
Oh yeah. We have a lot of them recorded on Eric's tape recorder, but he would have to go through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of files. Good luck.
Oh, so you have a lot. There's a lot of material out there.
I would say out there, but it's like one computer. Yeah,
Right,
it
that's what I mean,
exists.
like, but it exists. And it exists.
It
yeah.
exists. Yeah, yeah.
I always listen to me. I'm always happy to know things just exist or intact, like the Nevermore performance. Even if I never ever get to see that, I'm just glad to know that it's preserved in some way, shape, or form.
I know on YouTube though, there's a small little clip they use from our recording of that.
Oh, like
it's on
like a
YouTube.
trailer or something, right?
Yeah.
Cool. That's really cool.
It exists. It exists. So it shows you that it's there. Yeah. We even did a music video. I mean, other than what Kevin did for us, we actually filmed a Slender Man music video, and for whatever reason, I don't know. We did some cool stuff. We took a lot of cool photos. We filmed a lot of cool shit. You know, out. We went out to the forest over here. I think I can't remember where it was exactly. I forget shit so easily. But I remember we went out. We did a lot of filming. But David, I shouldn't say his name, but he got busy with life and had some health issues and stuff. So it just never. And we tried to get the footage from him so we could give it to somebody else, and he didn't want to give it to us. It's like, wait, it's just sitting in limbo. You know, it's like, God damn it. You know, we could finish it. We have lots of live footage. We could intersplice with it. It could be done. And he just wouldn't do it, you know? Then he tried he was like, well, you got to buy me an external hard drive so I could transfer all the files. I'm like, all right, I'll buy you one. Then I was going to get him a terabyte. Then he's like, wait, I want 2 terabytes. And at that point, I was like, you know what? You're moving the goalpost. Fuck it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
We're breaking up anyways, so fuck it. So I just didn't give a shit at that point. So, you know.
Yes, the track is called Kevin's Danzig Party because Kevin wrote a song called Welcome to Kevin's Pity Party. It's Kevin's Danzig Party is the name of the song.
You know, I haven't listened to Black Acid Devil in 20 years, so I'm kind of curious to go revisit it, but man,
listen, everything after 4 is absolutely an acquired taste on some level. There are tracks here and there that shine through a lot of glut, but you can tell that the formula that made Danzig
gone
was gone when he lost his backing band. You know, I mean, again,
Rick Rubin. He lost Rick Rubin.
You have songs like on Danzig 777, I Lucifari. You have Kiss the Skull is a great song. Without Light I Am is a great song. I like I always say Wicked Pussycat is it's almost like Danzig doing either a Red Hot Chili Peppers song or like a rap. He's going, I like a pound now. I like a better. Pussy in a leather. It just sounds like Anthony Kiedis would be singing it. I can't.
Oh my God.
It's so funny, man.
That same cadence, huh? The same cadence. You're right.
Well, yeah, like a little like that alliteration or whatever. Friggin' Circle of Snakes has some
good songs. That was a good one. Yeah.
Skin Carver is a great song. Black Angel, White Angel is
that's the best one. That's the best one. Yeah,
that's the best one on the thing.
I would say that's the best Danzig song after anything off of Danzig 4. It's probably the best Danzig.
I don't know if it'd be number 1 for me, but it is absolutely in the top 5.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
It's really great. I mean,
what's that one song off what's the latest one? Is it Death Red Savio? Is that what it's called? His last one he did?
Death Red has some really good songs on it.
But there's that one song goes dun 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 over and over again. That stupid squeal. It's just hell. But the chorus for that song is fucking fantastic. It's like, this is good. But then
you're talking about. Hold on. You're talking
over and over.
Revengeful.
That's it. That's the one. Revengeful. Yeah. Has a great fucking chorus. It's like it takes you. It's like tired of being alive.
No. Hold on. There's Revengeful. There's also Hammer of the Gods. That's
not the one. Okay, that's not the one.
Hammer of the Gods is a good song too.
Yeah, that one's cool. That was cool. Revengeful.
Death Red Moon is a great song as well.
Death Red Moon is pretty good. Yeah. That Revengeful one though, it has that shitty opening riff. It's so generic new metal.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But the chorus is fantastic. It's like the intro for Pumpkinhead Misfits, right?
Yeah.
It's like it has that really shitty intro. It's like, this sounds like he's singing out of tune, but then the rest of the song is fantastic. You know. But yeah. I digress.
We're gonna. Well, hold on. I'm curious to know this as well. What is? Let's hear what your favorite Danzig album is and what your favorite song is.
Oh,
If you could pick one, pick 5. Give me your top 5 Danzig songs, and give me one album that you have to go.
you know, for some reason, I always come back to Danzig 3 because I just like I like the mass majority of the songs, and it has Sistinus and How the
Love
Gods
it.
Kill.
Love it.
Awesome.
One of my favorite Danzig songs, hands down.
It's like when me and my wife got married, that was like one of the songs we slow danced to. It was a must.
Oh my God, that's your wedding song. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was a must. We had to. But my favorite Danzig song might be "Tired of Being Alive." That chorus is just like so fucking amazing,
good, dude. I love
so amazing.
Alive.
Yeah, so amazing, so fucking amazing. But I like the production for How the Gods Kill. It's got that reverb. It's just buried in reverb and sounds really dark.
What about do you like the, I always feel, and I'm saying this as a non-musician, I always feel like the mixing is flat on, like, there's not a lot of dynamic dimension, if that makes any sense, to Danzig 3, in my opinion. Maybe not on all the songs, or maybe I'm just so used to hearing those songs live.
Mm-hmm.
It just, when I listen to the record, it feels very flat, is the only way I can describe it. Maybe it's
really?
Yeah, maybe it's like that. It's like, how how you can like listen to like a studio track of something.
Cold Rain, yeah.
No,
that's a great song.
You listen to a live song, and it has like a real, like, it's got an energy, a rhythm. And then when you hear the studio version, it's like locked into like a slower studio tempo.
Sure. They're playing to a metronome, so, it's like less energy.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I just feel like, there's some sort of vibe like that on How the Gods Kill. I love all those songs, but I always just feel like I listen to the live version of Left Hand Black, and then I listen to it just doesn't have the same
feel. Same balls. Yeah, Godless is great. Yeah, Cold Rain, going down to see Danzig 4. I love Danzig 4 too, for like Going Down to Die and Call in the Dark. Well, it has those 3 songs in a row. Going Down to Die, Call in the Dark.
I Don't Mind the Pain is on there as well.
It's on there as well, yeah. But there's like 3 songs in a row that whenever I'm in the car, I'm going to listen to those 3.
Yeah, I don't know what the sequencing of it, but
hey, babe, what's the name of it? It was Going Down to Die, Call in the Dark, and not Sistinus. It's on Danzig 4.
Oh, Danzig 4, Going Down to Die.
She's trying to remember, but yeah, it's those 3 songs in that sequence. It's just like, oh man, it's like fucking heaven, those 3 songs. Like, anyways, I still love Danzig 1. I think off Danzig 1, Possession is probably one of my favorite songs.
Hands down, one of my favorite Danzig tracks.
Yeah.
Period.
Just all those demon voices at the beginning are like fucking it's dark and sick.
And you got the insane. James Hetfield's backing vocals on it. It's really great.
Right. No, it's Call in the Dark. What else?
What did you say?
That's 3 songs in a row. Going Down to Die, Call in the Dark, and what's the other one? Dominion. Yeah, Dominion.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Dominion.
Fantastic. They're like power ballady, sort of dirgy.
Yeah, they're cool. Listen, again, you really can't go wrong. As like a cohesive album, like whole album, I'm always like Danzig 1 forever. Even though the first half of Danzig 2 is so formidable and so strong, just Long Way Back to Hell, Into Snakes of Christ,
777.
777, Tired of Being Alive.
Oh my God.
Just so many great songs. You really can't, but I've Devil's Plaything is always like a crowd favorite, but I'm not never really connected with me in that kind of way. And then really, obviously, How the Gods Kill is literally his Stairway to Heaven. And, Godless is one of the best opening tracks on any album, period. It's just the way that it rolls in is great. And yeah, Sistina's might be one of Danzig's best songs he's ever written. It's just so
I love anything. I love the intro to anything. Just the cold,
anything is
dark.
great.
It's beautiful. Yeah, and just it's about Satan offering Jesus all the world.
Track, but it's just a great. It's a great second track. Like
it is.
Like people always talk about opening tracks. What about you need like what's that follow up? That second in Snakes of Christ is like that too. These great secondary tracks that just really kick you into the record, and they do that well.
Those first 4 albums, man. Woo.
What about give me your let's do top 5 Misfit songs, and let's do top 5 Sam Hain songs.
Oh God. For Misfits, I would say my number 1 Misfit song is Hybrid Moments. I just love the chord progression and the way he harmonizes over it. It's just I hear it and I always get that nostalgic feeling when I first heard it when I was like 10 years old. I still feel the same way. It's timeless. It's fucking timeless. It's just beautiful. God, I remember Last Caress. I still love Last Caress. I heard Metallica's version first, and it took me forever.
That's my first one.
But I didn't hear it for like 5 years. I heard the Metallica version for years first, and then they finally released Collection 2, and I got it the day it came out. Right. I was like, just so I could hear Last Caress, and I was like, I was losing my shit. It was like, it was heaven. It was heaven.
You bring up something that's kind of amazing. We've talked about this on the channel. We talk about that notion that if you did not have a copy of Beware, if you did not hear a bootleg, if you didn't have like a bootleg of whatever,
you couldn't hear it.
The Static Age songs, and you'd have to be really close to the band to get that stuff because they would pass tapes around, and so it was possible to hear Last Caress if you knew someone close enough to the band. So if you didn't have Beware, if you didn't have one of those Static Age runoff tapes, you did not really. There was no way for you to hear Last Caress until 1995.
Yeah. And I was
what a notion.
I was raised a Jehovah's Witness, so I didn't have access to like anybody in the underground, So like all the stuff I was listening to, like everybody at my church, nobody was into that kind of music. Nobody at all. So I was like,
may I ask out of curiosity, Jehovah's Witnesses. So is that stuff? Is it like a straight up like? Again, please forgive me. I don't understand how any of this stuff works. So is it like expressly like not allowed, or is it just like a frowned upon thing, or is it like a like tolerated, like the stuff like this, like listening to heavy metal? Because I know I'm assuming if you're not celebrating holidays and birthdays, then maybe you might not be allowed to listen to heavy metal music. Like, what's the deal with that?
It's a heavy gray area, a heavy gray area.
Got you.
Okay. I remember one time I went to like Witnesses would always have like little gatherings. They're very communal, and so we went to a park, and I had my headphones on, and I'd bring my headphones down. Then I think the kids want to play football or something. I was like 15, sophomore in high school, and I put my headphones down. I put my tape player down, and then like one of the sisters went to go see what I was listening to. And I was listening to Bolt Thrower, the death metal band, and so they heard growling and blast beats, and they were like, oh, and so like they pulled their kids away from me. They wouldn't allow me to play with their kids anymore because they heard that shit. So it's like they pass judgment on you based on the music you listen to.
Now, if you're in like an insulated community like that, where are you getting exposed at that
there was my older brother introduced me to the Misfits. He had remember he had Samhain Initium. He had that album.
Right. Yeah, great.
And November Coming Fire. And I just never seen that the cover for Initium going, whoa, these guys are serious. Like yeah, this is the real deal right here. So yeah, I heard those two. Those are the only two I could find for years,
Pretty obscure things to have even back then, for years.
They were. He had them on tape. And I remember hearing Archangel. That's my favorite Samhain song is Archangel. I know it's not. It wasn't written for. It was written for the damned, right? I think.
You want to know something? If you listen to it with a certain ear, Archangel is a damn song. It's not a
Yeah.
like a Sam Ain song. Like you listen to Archangel and you're like, holy shit, this is written. He's trying to write. Sorry, all the seltzers coming up. He's trying to write a damn song for Dave Vanian, and that's Archangel.
That song, man, just forever. It does that same riff over and over again, but never gets old.
Never gets old.
It's like trance inducing. It just gets you. It's what a song.
Yes, he did write it for Dave Vanian's solo, but it's still written kind of in the vein of the Damned, and that's what so it's kind of subversively, it's like a Damned song. It doesn't really have necessarily the same vibe as like look at Archangel and then look at like Macabre, or like the Shift. Like
Archangel is very different from any other song. Period. It's so different.
It really is. It so really is. It's like probably the most like accessible in that kind of way, because a song like
Radio Friendly
End or Unholy Passion, no, they're alienating. Not alienating is the wrong word. They are I guess they're unagreeable to the human ear. Like you listen, you're like, what the fuck? Like, where's the hook in that? But it's there. You just have to be attuned into it, and that's what makes that band.
Yeah. I mean, for any underground music, you got to have an ear for it. That's just how it is. I think All Murder, All Guts. I like that song.
Yeah, dude.
I like Diablos 88 as an intro. I thought that was really cool.
You know what it always sounded like to me? It sounds like a Jeep commercial. Like you imagine the Jeep driving through like the terrain, and it's just going,
That's funny. That's funny. It's funny to hear other people's perspective of that song. To me, it was just I always envisioned like like the cover, like a bunch of, or like the back of the record, like everyone around fire, like them just like dancing around it, like a bunch of voodoo.
You did that to me. You just did the reverse to me, like the idea of the skeletons dancing around the fire. You just put that image into my head when you say that. And by the way, if anybody wants a sour cream t-shirt, it's in if you look at the description of this video, you will find that we have actually printed, because in November Coming Fire, sour cream. So I actually put November's Fire sour cream behind the flame. And
that's awesome.
The most inside-in joke that like nobody is gonna possibly understand except for like a couple nerds on like a message board. But whatever. I just thought, I was like, this has to be on a t-shirt, and it is.
I got two little tidbits, connections to the Misfits. I was and Samhain. I was in a band with London May for a little bit, in a black metal band.
Right, you told me that.
Called Ritual. And then I was Michael Graves also performed at me and my wife's wedding.
Shut up. Really?
Yeah.
God.
He did an acoustic set, and this is before all of his, his Proud Boy stuff.
Right. Yes.
So I used to brag about it all the time. I can't now. But I get shit for it. But it's like, hey, he was cool. He was nice. I mean, he was really nice. He was like down to earth, and he came up to our
No. So was he solo, or did he have his band with him?
Solo, just him and his acoustic guitar.
Wow.
I told him the songs that I wanted him to play, and he played every song that we requested and then some.
Wow.
It was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Do that. He does that. He'll do like a 90-minute set on his acoustic guitar if he, push comes to shove, right? Like he'll do that. That's cool, man.
Yeah. The album that we liked a lot was his one he did with Damien Eccles, the
illustrations, no,
illusions.
Yeah,
fantastic. The melodies on that, and the soul that he sings, it's just beautiful.
I don't know if I've ever actually listened to it. I think, is Lucifer I Am, is that one of the songs?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one of the songs.
I recorded 2 Michael Graves shows, one of which was supposed to be a concert DVD. I shot for him that never came out. And he was playing at the first gig. He played Lucifer I Am, and that was the only song from that album that I was exposed to. That actually was a really good song. It was a pretty good song. So was When the Sky Ends. I always thought was really good.
That's the best one. That's the best. He wrote that when he was like 15 or 16.
Yeah,
as a kid.
I generally don't admit that I like anything that Michael Graves has done these days, but I can't deny that those are good songs. I mean, those are good songs.
Talent is talent, regardless of one's beliefs.
Hey, American Psycho and Some of Famous Monsters, I still
solid.
Like those are still solid to me. I don't, take it away. I've never really been big on his solo output much. I do think I will say this. I think the song Teenage Monster that he
that was good.
That's a class. That is a good song. That objectively, pound for pound, that is a good song. But a lot of Michael's music solo music has never personally connected with me. However, I will say Lucifer I Am and When the Sky Ends, 2 songs that he does musically that are good.
Frostbite, that's another one. Like that was our first. Frostbite. Oh, it's melancholy and beautiful.
Which album?
It's off Illusions. It's off Illusions.
All Illusion stuff.
So when me and my wife had our very first wedding dance, it was to that song. He was playing it acoustically. It was wow. Everything that we envisioned for our wedding reception, it happened. It was manifested.
You danced to Sistina's, and Michael Graves played your wedding. Did you have Michael Graves singing Sistina's?
No, that was afterwards. Afterwards. Yeah.
That would have been interesting. Oh my God.
No, we didn't make him play any Danzig stuff. No. But I did ask him at that time if he ever met Danzig, and he went, nope, never met him.
Okay, so he almost met him one time, and this is not my story to tell. This is like third party information.
He did tell us that he almost met him. Yeah.
Yeah. He almost met Danzig when he opened for Danzig, technically, when he got up on stage with Doyle and they did Gorgeous Frankenstein. They did 3/4 of a New Misfits reunion. It was Dr. Chubb.
Gorgeous Frankenstein. Oh.
Yeah. So it was them, right? It was them. They were doing that. And there was somebody, I forget, I don't know who it was. There was somebody at that show that was explaining to him that Danzig might have wanted to meet him or something, or that he thought he was going to meet Danzig that night, and Danzig had no interest in meeting him. And
of course not. Of course not. Yeah, he's a joke to him. Yeah.
Yeah, and he, I don't know. But he almost, it almost happened. He never did. You would think that in some way, shape, or form that would have happened, but I don't know.
Oh, someone says they only liked a third of Famous Monsters. There's only like 2 songs on that I don't like. It's crazy.
Evan says, he says a third of Famous Monsters. So here's the songs I like on Famous Monsters. American Psycho, I can listen to pretty much. I like American Psycho. Famous Monsters is 50-50 for me, and here's why. Because they started doing this, they're starting to do this very metal-y sort of punk thing.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's like Doyle's guitar is metal guitar. It's not.
Yeah.
It's like they're doing punk songs with a metal guitar.
Yeah.
So Famous Monsters.
Metal delivery. Yeah.
Metal delivery. That's a great way to put it. So, by the way, I have to wrap this up because my voice is dying, and it's we're past 2 hours. But
man, I love this talk.
Oh, listen. You'll come back. You'll come back for a top 5 or something. We do top 5
right.
here. We'll have you back on, Andy. This is so much fun. I really enjoyed
And Pineapple Pizza is very punk rock because it's the most offensive to everybody.
I love that you just said that. Wait, you have to answer that question. Hold on. Wait. Famous Monsters. Crawling Eye is fun.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. Yeah.
Forbidden Zone. I really like Forbidden Zone.
Yeah.
I really like Lost in Space.
That one's pretty good.
I like Helena. Helena's like heavy metal though. Like it's like
good.
Heavy metal song.
But I'm a metalhead. So for me,
I understand why you would like that. Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That's me. I am not from I am so not steeped in metal, and not that I don't like appreciate it. I'm sure I do, but like it's just not my thing. I'm a punk rocker through.
Yeah.
So that made that sort of alienated me a little bit from. Again, these are like sort of poppy, punky songs that have metal delivery.
Yeah.
What else is on there?
1 million years BC. That's a great song. 1 million years BC. Yeah,
I barely even
catchy.
know it, man. I really don't like that. That song is so I don't know, man.
The lyrics are dumb, but like just the melody, the vocal melody.
No, I mean, like
really
I literally can't even sing it because I just never get that far into it. Like I cherry pick a couple of songs. I'll tell you this. A lot of people we did a deep dive on Jerry Only's singing prowess and whatnot. And I got to tell you, I listened to Project 1950 with 22 ears. No, I got to tell you something. I have to tell you something. I listened to his new album, then I went back and listened to all of his other material because I wanted to hear.
My earbuds are in. I can't plug my ears. But go ahead.
I think he did a great job with Project 1950. The vocals, yeah, I do. When I look at what he did on that new album,
Jerry Only album.
Yeah, but not just the Jerry Only album, just all that stuff that he did later on. It's so overproduced, and the problem is he really is not. His voice can only work in certain ranges. And leans into that very well on Project 1950. He's not trying to outdo what he can't sing on. He's trying to like
magic moment. I hated that. Oh,
but here's the thing: you hated it because it has the Misfits name on it.
I hate it. I hate it because he sounds like a limp dick. Sounds terrible.
But without the Misfits name, just this idea of a Jerry Only singing a bunch of 50 songs.
I preferred that Jerry Only were to sing over Michael Graves because he's an original member, but he's not a good singer.
Interesting. That's an interesting observation as well.
Yeah.
Yes. I at the end of the day, Jerry Only's most suited for backing vocals, and he does a great job at backing vocals.
Yes,
That's
he does.
where his strength is.
Yeah.
He has, for whatever reason, he's super stubborn. Is like, I'm just going to sing in all of these registers that I have no business singing in. And if you listen to, I listened to Project 950 and I listened to The Day the Earth Caught Fire, which is the other one he did.
Yeah.
And his vocals were honest. He wasn't trying to he's just going, Jerry Only. Like, he's just like doing his thing. And I'm like, all right, I'm down with this. Cause that's
I saw him, it was like 2002, maybe around there. I saw them maybe 2001 even. God, it was with Marky Ramone was on drums, Dee Ramone was on bass, Dez was on guitar. So it was like a Misfits, Black Flag, Ramones show. And it was like they got together the night before and jammed. It was fucking god awful. And Jerry Only was saying, collect pictures of little girls and hang them on my wall. I'm like, oh, dude, stop. Fucking stop.
You know what he did? You know what he did in what's going on, Rue?
No, Rue on the loose. No, Rue. I think what you misunderstood me. I like Michael Graves singing. I think he's got a soulful voice. I think he found his voice on Famous Monsters more than he had it on American Psycho. But I'm saying, like, if I didn't know anything about Michael Graves and I only knew about Jerry Only, and they said, who do you want to sing, this guy or this guy? I would have chose Jerry Only because he was an original member. But after hearing Michael Graves, I prefer Graves over Jerry Only. I hate Project 1950. And what's the other one? The Devil's Reign? Oh, that's an abomination.
If I have to pick between Jerry Only and Michael Graves, I'm going to pick Michael Graves.
Yeah.
Obviously. But
yeah, he's a better singer.
Yes, he is the better singer. Cannot be denied that he is.
They should have changed the name. They should have changed the name of the band. They should not have had it as Misfits.
They should not. They should
not.
No. We talk about this all the time. They should just call themselves Them or the Resurrected or something.
Yeah, something. Famous Monsters even. It could have been Famous Monsters.
They toyed with that idea. It was going to be Them. Yeah, right, Kevin. It was going to be Them, or it was going to be Famous Monsters, or it was going to be Dead King's Rise. They had a bunch of ideas, and they didn't go with any of them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. They should have.
It just would have given it. It would have given it legs, better legs.
They would have had a lot more forgiveness from the fans. There have been no forgiveness because it's a different band. It's a whole new thing.
I'll tell you one song that I just really like from American Psycho. I mean, I like the first half of that album is just really good. From Hell They Came.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
That is
really
great. That's a really fun, great song. You know,
Yeah.
it really is. It really is. That can't be denied. It's not the Misfits.
Mhm.
This is the problem. This is why I'm happy that he put out a solo album. Like, we don't, it's easy to compartmentalize. This is a Jerry only album. That's why.
So when did he put that out? I had no idea he even put anything out.
It just came out.
Oh, it did. And it's pretty good.
If you listen to it, at 1.25 speed, it's a lot more palatable to the ears. You can't listen to it at
what's better, the Jerry only solo album or Danzig's Elvis album?
Danzig's Elvis album by like 5 miles, but
I enjoyed it.
I really liked the Danzig.
Yeah, I liked it too.
A lot.
Yeah.
I
like how the rest of the band sounds like
First thing I asked Erie Vaughn when we started talking, I just right out of the bat, I was like, Erie, what'd you think of Danzig's solo album, Danzig's Elvis album? And I forgot what he said. He said something.
It's probably long-winded, right?
He said a bunch of stuff, but he wasn't overly critical of it. I think he thought it was okay. I loved it, man. You know what it was? It was kind of like the Rocky Six. It was like the Rocky Six of Danzig albums. You know what I mean? Like over the hill guy coming out and swinging for the fences, really vulnerable with his voice after like destroying his voice, and then vulnerably singing these delicate songs, doing a song,
but redeems himself.
Does Pocket Full of Rainbows. Talk about pineapple pizza. You know, like dude's doing a song, Danzig, a guy Danzig. He's doing Pocket Full of Rainbows. Fucking punk as fuck. It's
crazy.
Awesome. It's
but
really, really awesome.
The one song I liked a lot on Skeletons was Devil's Angels. Oh my god.
Yeah, Devil's Angels is great.
That was floating around. Huh?
Yes. No. Devil's Angels was great. Production on the album was not good.
Dog shit. A limp dick. It was a fucking limp dick. Yeah, no, it was bad.
Yes, it was floating around, Devil's Angels.
For a long time. I remember just going, this sounds like Misfits. This is fucking incredible. Like, fuck. Like, please do this. Do only this, you know? But then we didn't get that.
Rue, I agree. I'm with Rue on this one. He says, I didn't hate his Graves as much as I do now. I have to admit that I am that way as well. But I personally got into it with Graves I got into a fight with Graves on his show, and he kicked me off his show. So we which you can watch. It's I'd actually,
wait, what?
Andy, don't watch it.
Say that. No, say that all again. Go ahead. One more time.
No, I'm just saying that I got into a whole fight with Graves on his show. I was on his show and I got into a fight with him. And
when was this?
2 years ago, right after he imploded.
Dude, send me a link to that, please.
No, I don't want you to see.
Come on. No, you can't tell me that. You please. Oh my god, I got to see that.
He muted my mic and then booted me off. And when he muted my mic, I wrote the word fascist.
Good for you. Good for you. That is a fascist. Censoring you, yep. Censoring the opposing, yep.
He's like the free speech guy.
Yeah, I know. He's being a fascist
guy, and he was whatever. He was getting we each, let's put it this way. We both opposite arguing points on an argument.
Sure.
That is maybe required a little bit more nuance than but we were polarized black and white on this argument.
Of course.
And he, but really in reality, it all started because he was basically saying that Christians are, He's basically saying that Christians are being treated like Jews in the Holocaust, and they're being put into digital ghettos. And I was like, hey, I'm a Jew. I got a problem with what you said. Let's talk about it. And then it devolved into a bunch of other shit. And
That's stupid.
yeah, it was a nasty 20 minutes. And then he starts talking about Alex Jones. I was like, wait, you believe in Alex Jones? He's like, yes. And I'm like, he's like talking about, and then what happened was he just muted me and then booted me from the thing. And
oh my God.
that was the beginning of that was the beginning of Graves's downfall in general. And then he just doubled down on it. And now Graves has a lot of trouble. He can't play a gig to save his life. And what kills me, what really angered me about the whole thing on a personal level was that I was thinking about his band. I was thinking, I know his bandmates. I was like, when you said all that shit and they were making 6 figures a year, making 6 figures a year. And then you say all this like shit that like is going to hurt your ability to tour when you have people that are relying on you to tour. You have 3 kids and you're out there like just talking either side of your neck. If we heard anything that Danzig said out loud, I'm sure that like we would all like fucking our toes would curl. But Danzig,
well, he does say some pretty ridiculous shit, but yeah,
but he keeps his mouth shut. He doesn't fucking talk about it. Same thing with Jerry Only. Jerry Only's like he has his own beliefs and stuff.
Yeah.
But he doesn't talk about it. He keeps it all separate. But Graves is out there on like a pulpit, like fucking, talking about, not just that, like he doesn't believe in gay marriage, straight up. And I'm like, he's trying to like backtrack, like, that was another thing I was confronting him about. And and it was funny how he changed the subject when he realized like all the shit that he had said. In any case,
wow. Because when I met him in 2013, he was like really nice, and he came up to a room and he just signed everything. We were just talking family stuff, and his wife was there, and I was like, oh, this guy gets a bad rap. I don't care if he's right leaning, whatever, but I guess he went really far right, like in the last few years.
I always knew, even when I had briefly crossed paths. I mean, he had done an interview for me for my documentary project. And as I said, I shot a concert DVD. Like we had interactions, and I knew that he was a right-wing guy, but that was at a time where it was like right-wing wasn't like, you could be friends or associated with someone who's right-wing, and like everybody could coexist. Like the rift,
right.
The rift has gotten so extreme.
It's big. It's pretty wide. It's pretty wide.
Yeah, it's just wide now. It is a completely different age. And then to affiliate yourselves with Western chauvinists, which is code for, again, Western equals white and chauvinist is supremacy.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? Like, so he can't do any of that stuff anymore.
He commit commercial suicide.
Well, it just, and it's funny, you sit there and fucking complain and go, I've been canceled. But it's like you also put yourself, people don't want to associate themselves with you because you said some really stupid shit. And so it's like, everybody's got to toe a line. And now it's like, how are you going to feed your family, bro? Like, what were you thinking? Like, honestly, what were you thinking?
He wasn't. Yeah. He had people warning him not to say that shit, and he didn't listen.
Loki, who was his guitar player, Loki's a great guy. Loki's been on the show a bunch of times, and we've talked about it in the past, where it's just like, Loki was like, dude, you're not considerate. I don't agree with you. You speaking for me when you say these things. We have a business. We tour. We go to South America. We go to Europe. We're making 6 figures. What are you fucking it up for? And now they can't do it. He cannot book a show in Europe. He cannot book. So look, whether you want to stand up for your principles or not, fine. But understand that, like, obviously, commerciality, brands, all of these things, they're aligned with capitalism, right? They're aligning themselves with the things that's the way that they're going to make the most amount of money. And if you're saying like stuff that goes against making money, then they're not going to want to do business with you.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's like with Kanye, you know, he was saying a lot of crazy shit and Adidas gave him the boot until the public starts making an uproar about it. Once the public makes an uproar, that's when you're in trouble.
But that's what isn't that interesting how initially Adidas wasn't really doing nothing about it. And then when they saw, oh, this hurts our ability to make money,
that's
now
it.
we have to respond. And that's so at the end of the day, right or wrong, it's like this force. Capitalism is this weird force where it's like it seeks out where it's going to make the most money, and anything that's against making the most money has to go. So if you're saying shit that's unsavory to a large demographic of people, then no one's going to do business with you. And then he goes on his thing and he goes, I've been canceled. They've canceled me. Why have they canceled me? I just
oblivious.
And it's just like, you know, and I'm a victim and my band left me. It's like, I don't know, maybe they just didn't want to be associated with being a Proud Boy. You coming out as a Proud Boy and then them being in a band with you makes them associated with Proud Boy shit. Maybe they don't want to be associated with Proud Boy shit.
No common sense, man. No fucking common sense.
You know, I don't know what will happen, what will become of that. I do have one really funny video that I will send you. I want that one. I want that one too. All right, I'll send you both of them. I'll send you both.
I'm gonna find it regardless. I'm gonna find it.
My channel, you'll find it.
But still, save me the search.
I went into the argument. I went guns a-blazing because here's what it was. I was washing dishes and I'm listening to his Facebook live stream, and he's challenging people. He's saying, "Well, who doesn't agree with me? Who doesn't agree with me? Who's that? I heard there were people that didn't agree with me. So if you don't agree with me, come on my show. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear it." So I'm washing dishes. I dropped the dish. I didn't drop it. I didn't break it. I put the dish down. I get out of my phone and I call that motherfucker up on his thing.
Oh, fantastic.
I pulled into the thing and I straight up just confronted him. But the problem was I didn't have any I just was talking. You know, I was arguing a point and I was talking out of the side of my neck. I
agree with you, Johnny Vicious.
I didn't have enough points, data to back it up. You know, that's part of the problem. What is Jarmy is saying today? I would rather be seen as a conservative versus this whole left side, no brainism science brigade. I just hate that there is a polarized, that it's just so polarized. It's so utterly divided.
Yeah.
You know,
but yeah, the left is very loud right now. We shouldn't get into politics too much, but you know, it's right. But but you and I are on the same page.
It's all crazy, man.
It's crazy. It's fucking bonkers, man.
Listen, this has been a great show, and I really do. I'm dying. My voice is fucking shredded. I have to go.
Oh, I believe you, man. We've gone on for like a half hour longer, so we've gone on for over an hour longer.
Yes,
than we were.
Have to come back. You'll definitely come back at some point. I want to.
Oh, look what I'm wearing.
Answer the question. What is that shirt? Oh, Captain.
Who is it? Captain Harlock. Yeah. There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
Do the
it's Pizza Punk.
Is Pizza Punk.
Well, I would say pizza is like music, you know, it depends on the type of pizza, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's certain types of pizza that piss people off, and pineapple pizza, oh my god, millennials hate it. So it's like the modern punk pizza. So but I love pineapple pizza, pineapple ham. Oh, I live for that shit. And whenever I order it, like at work, people fucking poo me like crazy. You wouldn't believe it. Oh my god. It's like, yeah, you know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna eat it. This shit's good.
Yeah, I'm just gonna piss you off with my pineapple pizza. I like that.
Yeah, that's punk.
Great. That is punk. Pizza is punk.
Pizza's punk.
I want to thank Andy so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And just like it was so fun to learn even more about you than what I knew. You are a very interesting dude, and you've done a lot of really, really cool shit. And you know, I don't know why I think it really. I think my favorite part of like hearing some of your story is that you've already done something that like you're dying to do. because most of the time it's always somebody who's like still out there trying to do what they do. And you're at a place in your life where you're like, I did that thing. I did a thing.
Oh yeah.
And obviously maybe like, you want to support things, but like just the idea that you got to do the thing that you really wanted to do, that rules. I've
been blessed. I've been blessed.
That
I've been
rocked.
blessed. Yeah, just thinking about it sometimes
the,
it's like, oh,
dude, it's freaking awesome. Thank you everybody in the comments for the great conversation. I'm gonna play us out. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm too fucking even tired for that. Andy, stick around for 1 second. I'm gonna end the stream. We say peace, hair grease.